Wendy Bell Radio is live.
Hey, good morning.
Hey.
How's everybody doing? It's good to be with you.
Ooh, press button.
All right, everything's on. This is one of those weird days. It's like a fuzzy, rainy,
Yeah, it's icky.
meh day. It's interesting, Brock. So my kids all have gotten on me and Joe because we tell them, look, after the twins graduate and come back from college to see friends at Thanksgiving, maybe Christmas of the next year, we're up, we're out, we're gone, we're leaving, we're going somewhere. I don't know where. We'll figure it out. And they're like, oh, it's such crap. Sell
And then they
our
come home and they're
house.
like, there's nothing to do.
Well, no, they come home after living in Southern California, living in Clemson, Ryan in Knoxville, and they all come home and they're like, gosh,
This sucks.
this gray crap blows. And I'm like, I know. I mean, ultimately, I'm not one of those wacko seasonal affective disorder.
I think I am.
And I'm not saying it's wacko. I'm saying that it's real, but you can let it consume you. Like
Well-
you can really go down a spiral of not seeing the sun. So I just turn on lots of lights and put on more makeup and it all works out.
It doesn't help when
Ah,
your city sucks right now.
yeah, it's hard to
It's
get
like
behind.
it's
hard
like
to
it's
root
piling
behind.
on. Like Pittsburgh's piling on. It's like you were already
Mm.
mad at your city.
Yeah.
Well, here's some stormy weather.
Yeah.
It's cold and
The
wet.
new Marcus the Carcass has been out for 3 weeks now on the on-ramp
It's
to
deer
the
season. Give it a chance.
Parkway East at Squirrel Hill. He's a good-sized buck.
Fort Pitt. Oh, there's a new one.
Yes. Yes. Marcus the Carcass originally decomposed so much that there was a heavy wind and his vertebrae, I guess, the dust of them blew away. It took
Back
almost
to
a
the-
year and a half.
It was the circle of life.
It was the circle of life. Ashes to ashes, dust
Dust
to
to
dust. There
dust.
you go. There you go. Anyway, it's great to be with you guys. We got a nice group watching, 2,600. Hello. How are you? So I have to ask you guys, those of you who are super hardcore and you are Army members, you are part of our locals page, and you can click that red button beneath the video box to be a part of this. You guys pay $5 a month for 10 months because we give you 2 free to get the rundown, right? To get the entirety of the show. If anybody out there does that, I wonder if you find it of use. Do you think it is a benefit? I'm curious. I want honest opinions in the comment section. If you guys have time, I would love. And you have time, so let's go.
And if the case is no,
And if the case is
what
no,
could we do more?
I
Like,
want to know. I want to know that too. Someone said hi, Wendy and Brock. Let's see. That was Greeneth. Greeneth 122. Hi there. Hi, Black Lab. What's going on, Don Parcel and
Major
Julie?
Ellis, $10. The actions against Comey and James are still on the table.
Uh-huh.
Yes, they are.
I'm
They
going to
are.
tell you right now, I'm not going to get into the legal gymnastics of what's going on there. That stuff is going to have to get wrangled. I simply cannot stand one more moment of James Comey's voice. I don't want to hear him play the victim card. I'm not interested in him being a Swiftie. I'm not interested in his what? Seashells in the
His
sand.
sand art.
It's so weird. It's unbecoming. It is unbecoming. Hey, Holiday Statistic is now a monthly supporter. That's fantastic. Hello. That's wonderful. So, and that's what that gets you. It gets you the entire rundown. Everything we talk about, all the time codes. It's right there. Talk about it. And I know Rush used to always say the ultimate show prep. But it's true. We put it all out there at everybody's fingertips.
let me also say, I was going to wait till you went to the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
If you're upset with something we say, I'll say that I say, oh well, right?
Thanks,
Like,
Joma.
what's that?
I just was saying thank you
Oh.
to Joma, who said I was fabulous.
You don't need to send me an email
Yeah.
telling me how upset.
Somebody
you are.
got very upset with Brock about his comments regarding nursing. Look, school. Look, everybody has a different perspective about college, about their degrees, about their jobs. No insinuations were made. We were merely having a conversation about, you know what? In a lot of professions, you don't need to go to college and get a degree,
This one.
right? So he went to school to get 2 degrees, essentially, that were completely irrelevant to what he
Yes.
does. That was the point. If you're butthurt because you're a nurse and you feel that people belittle who you are and what you do. That's unfortunate.
And let me say this.
Because go ahead.
I want to say this. At no point did I say nurses were ass wipers, because in my opinion, because I've done it. That's called dignity, giving someone their dignity.
Hey, I was in the hospital in the NICU for 31 days with the world's best babysitters, NICU nurses. I would never, ever suggest that nurses aren't the lifeblood of the
No
medical
doubt.
system.
I watched what my mom went through with nurses.
Anybody who's butt hurt about that, that's too bad. But kindly spare us the emails, because it's not therapy for us to read you going off on things that weren't said. So,
or imply that
enough said.
Saying we imply something. It's just not it.
I don't
put words in
imply.
my
I
mouth.
beat you over the head with it.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure there's a lot of nuance there. I don't know. What did she say? I might have misinterpreted. Like, you suck. Sit down. Kind of, right? Anywho, it's great to be with you guys. Power surge. Oh,
Again?
I know.
That's like the 8th one this morning.
Stop. True.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at you.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we're converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Well, hello, America. Greetings to you across the beautiful fruited plain and beyond. Welcome to the Wendy Bell radio program, Common Sense Conservative Values. Do you ever walk around and feel like you're on an island? Like everybody else is in some other dimension, and you're like, clearly, it can't be me. I cannot be the only one. Relax. You are not alone. You have found your refuge, because we believe what you believe in. It's not complicated. Tell the truth. Work hard. Love beyond measure. Be realistic. Yes. Give back. Provide a great role model to our children, right? It's not complicated. Got an interesting show for you today. Seems all the oxygen in the room is being sucked up by this Mark Kelly situation. We're going to get into that, all of that, and so much more in the moments ahead. WendyBellRadio.com. Join us for the live video stream all 3 hours and join our chat. Welcome home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. You know, there comes a time in your life when you have to have that pause. It's more like a complete slamming of the brakes. You pull in the emergency brake, and you look in the mirror and you're like, look, we got to have an honest one-on-one here. Either I'm always, choosing the wrong people to be around, or I'm wrong in my belief system. Because all these things are happening in this country, and it just doesn't seem to make sense to me. I'm not getting ahead. I'm not happier. I'm not realizing any kind of benefit. I'm not progressing. So what's going on? What am I doing? At some point, you look in the mirror and you're like, look, it's got to be on me. The buck stops here with me. And so then you start making different decisions. We have a group of people in this country who haven't had that honest look in the mirror in a long time, if ever. And I don't understand that, because in the cycle of life, we ebb and flow, we grow, we make mistakes, we learn from them. And we hope to, through our own example, pass along to our children and our grandchildren some framework that works. Like if you can save some heartache and some detours of people you love, you do. Democrats are full steam ahead, even if they're running off of a cliff towards extinction. Because everything in the news today is meant to tell you that the guy you voted for, the guy who's doing everything that you wanted him to do, the guy who said to you, I am the voice, your voice, I will be here to stand in the way of people who want to take everything from you. People who don't understand what we're all about are running off of a cliff. And this is a message specifically to the Democrat Party. Look, I know you guys are not stupid people. I'm not going to sit here and insult you. I know many Democrats, extraordinarily intelligent people, who fundamentally have something missing in that ability to be honest and introspective. You realize that your party is responsible for the lion's share of the mess in this country. And if Republicans are guilty of anything, it's for being wimps. It's for being the world's biggest spineless willows. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, what gave rise to this whole MAGA movement. This, we want our country back. We're going to get active to get it back. And we're going to create a force that you need to reckon with. Democrats are just plodding straight forward, no paying attention to anything, right off of the cliff. You realize, if you're a Democrat, that the party that told you they were all about a woman's body, a woman's choice, was the same party that put a gun to your head and told you that you needed to get an experimental shot. This is the same party that let go of nearly 9,000 military members because they decided to say no. This is the same party that has gone so far in the world of reproductive rights as to take away the idea that the human being growing inside a woman's womb is really nothing but kind of a mass of cells and doesn't really exist until exiting the birth canal. And that, in fact, if you'd like to abort that baby up until birth, that should be okay. Your body, your choice. It is crazy. It is dark. This is the same party now that is complaining that these narco terrorists who are ferrying lethal drugs across the seas of the world to land on our shores and to pollute our children and kill hundreds of thousands of them at a clip. You have the Democrat Party more worried about those narco terrorists than they are about the carnage in America's cities and towns that for the better part of 20 years have fallen prey to that line of thinking. The Democrat Party, if you're a Democrat, do you not realize that it is your party that bankrupts you? It is your party that taxes you into oblivion. It is your party that overregulates, creates maddening rules specifically to gum you up in this cycle of running through oatmeal where you get nowhere fast and your only recourse is to blame somebody else. So Donald Trump, I guess, is the guy. It's your party that does that. It's your party that opened up the floodgates of illegal immigration. It's your party that allowed children who you pretend to care about, gotta vaccinate them all. It is your party that allowed hundreds of thousands of children from around the world to be preyed on by the deepest, darkest sources of evil, and they will never undo what has been done to them. That's on you. That's on your party. Your party rushes to ridiculous initiatives like anything regarding climate with no critical thought. There's no scientific consensus. And when somebody brings up a point that counters your science, you shut them down. You silence them, kneecap, go after them with knives and torches and pitchforks because your party can't handle conversation. Your party has created a toxic generation of young, triggered women who, I've got to say, are going to go off the deep end so quickly, it's not even funny, because at some point you snap out of your hypnosis, that wild trance that you fell into when you were groomed in school and then through college and beyond. You're going to realize at some point, when you finally do look in the mirror, that it was all for nothing, that you were used, that they played you like a fiddle. And the people on the right who love you, who tried to reason with you, who tried to tell you, stop, calm down, let's talk about it. And you drew that ultimatum, that line in the sand, and you 86'd people from your lives. When you look in the mirror and you realize you're alone, and it's your own doing, then what? Then what? Democrats, this is your party. Your party of inflation, of supply chain problems, of ridiculous decisions, of cabinet members who were so inept and incompetent. There were 15,000 near misses, plane collisions in one airport in 1 year. Your party has done this. If we have any guilt at all on the right, it's that, you know what we are? We're quiet. We don't have to show you our virtue. We don't have to beat on our chest when we do magnanimous things in society. You do. We're quiet. We mind our business. We don't get in other people's way. We don't finger wag. We don't predict what's going to happen to you. We're worried about the people in our orbit. And quite frankly, we don't care much about the majority of your initiatives until you freaking make us. Because you know what you need is you need our money to make it happen. That is the reality of where we are in America today. And so I do say, if you are a Democrat and you are unhappy with the way this country is right now, it is not the doing of 10 months of Donald Trump. It dates all the way back to Barack Obama. And it was purposeful. And you fell for it. Hook, freaking, line, and sinker. And sadly, the two words that are hardest for you to say are the ones that will set you free. I'm sorry. You might try it. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, there's new polling out. Some of the polling makes you go, J.D. Vance, got some polling on him. And the 10 top candidates thus far to be the Democrat presidential nominee, hopeful, wisher, in 2028. Do not miss it. See if you agree or if we're all being played. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Anyway, I just felt like, I guess I needed to get that out. I didn't know where that came from. That's kind of scary. I'm sorry. 5,400 people. Let's go. Seems like we need to get our engineer on a button. 1.61. We've got a lot of progress to make before we get to the halfway mark to 4,000. We have 400 to get to, but I have such great confidence in you guys, right? What's up? Update 1. Hi, Sherry. What's going on, Debbie? BS. Dirt Hawker 66, Dano 59, and Cheryl 13. Oh, Cheryl 301. What's up, Demanda? How are you, sweetheart? Hammer, did you get my tattoo on your face yet? Just a little teardrop of the Wendy Bell Radio logo. I think that's really attractive. Don't you? What's going on, Hammerhead? I'm seeing a lot of names here I'm not familiar with. This is exciting. We are excited. So look, if you want access to what we do every day, it's $5 a month, 2 months free. You can hit that red button underneath the video box. And while you're there, hit the follow tab right next to it. That helps us out. We're now at 75.3 thousand followers. So if we can get like 100 new followers a day, I'm saying Sky's the limit. I do have something to tell you about Ireland Contracting. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. Home exterior Pittsburgh remodeling. So definitely specific to our zip code and Land Before Time. This is the company I trust. These are the people I believe in. These are friends of ours. And I've hired them no shortage of 6 times. Paying customer, yes, they are a sponsor of this program, but I pay for services rendered. And they've helped me out multiple times. Soffit fascia, gutters, downspouts, skylights, sun tunnels, you name it, siding, windows, roofing. That's what they do. 1-800-NEW-ROOF. And we will, on the flip side of this, have that promo on CB Distillery. This is a great time to get in on CB Distillery. The Black Friday specials are coming out, you guys. Telling you what. And we might double up a couple because they want us to get the full 5 reads in this week, even though we're off on Friday. So do know that. We're here Thanksgiving. So put in some AirPods and cook, pies or, I don't know, dress your turkey. And join us. We'd love to be with you as we give thanks for all of the many blessings we have in this country. Thanksgiving is a uniquely American thing, isn't it? Or do other countries celebrate? Because they can be thankful for other things. I don't know. Brock is a wealth of information right now as a history major, so it's good to know. Anywho.
I didn't hear what you're saying.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You're doing other stuff. Pay attention to me. I don't know what he's doing, but I know what he should be doing.
My job?
My job. Yes, your job.
Which doesn't need degrees.
Which probably does. I mean, mine doesn't really either. I mean, if I'd started working at a small television station, I probably would have learned pretty quickly. Wouldn't have been out 100 grand. Looking at it, I was like, okay, this is different. New poll out of New Hampshire shows a clear front runner in the 2028 race for the GOP. No, but it's interesting. If J.D. Vance, who's obviously the front runner, like going away 57, 58%, I'll look at the numbers here for you in just a second. If you look at J.D. Vance, who is out as a reliable, impressive orator of the Trump doctrine, of the Make America Great Again view of America moving forward into this golden age, you would imagine that he and President Trump, policy-wise, have the same ideas. They talk about the same things. Their objectives are on track. That is what a president and vice president successful partnership is all about. And there was a reason, obviously, Kamala Harris was kept in the dark. She was just tragic. She's a low IQ individual. She was put in her position because of her skin color and ovaries. And quite frankly, how did that go for us? Not very well. So how do you get J.D. Vance with far and away great popularity? And then they're trying to tell us that, you know what? People are really souring on President Trump. And I'm like, really? People are souring on that. They're souring on the guy who is fixing what Democrats spent 4 years breaking, 12 if you consider Obama, and then the 4 of Trump's term when all they did was foist a lawfare at him to stall his agenda. And still he hit historic accomplishments, particularly in the fields of employment. How is it possible that Donald Trump is just so disliked right now? I buy none of it. We'll start with the first poll. This is from Breitbart. Looking at all of the presidential candidates for the GOP, J.D. Vance, not a surprise, towering over the 2028 field. This is according to St. Anselm College polling, conducted November 18th and 19th. Margin of error, about 2%. The survey of likely Republican voters in New Hampshire shows J.D. Vance with 57 support. It is a towering figure that places him miles ahead of the next, person who'd be Marco Rubio, who has been fantastic. And I guess he gets what, 9%? Ron DeSantis, 7%. And then they have Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley. Why is Nikki Haley even? It's like putting Amy Klobuchar in with the Democrat candidates. It's like, have we not exhausted that? Have we not graduated beyond that? So anyway, there you have J.D. Vance towering his field. Then we got Trump approval. And it's like, oh no, I guess people really don't like $21 trillion of new investment. I guess they don't like Ford opening a global world headquarters in Michigan. I think they hate that. I hate that jobs are coming back. Jobs for, the middle class white guy who represents the base of Donald Trump's movement. 38% approve of Donald Trump right now. 38%, 60% disapprove. Bullcrap. If the vice president espouses the agenda and the priorities set forth by President Trump, how does J.D. Vance pull nearly 20 points higher than the president, without whom none of this would be happening? Right? I wouldn't take any of these with any seriousness. Now, this is interesting. On the flip side, Washington Examiner ranking the 2028 Democratic presidential primary field. You want to see who's getting some attention right now? We'll start at the bottom of the barrel. Kamala Harris. She needs to have a go-away party. J.B. Pritzker, who believes that him destroying Illinois is a great setup for him being president. Well, probably in Democrat circles. Chest feeder Pete Buttigieg. He's in there. Chris Murphy, who really loves that Maryland man. Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He thinks he auditioned and got a place. Andy Bashir, Kentucky, meh. Josh Shapiro, Pennsylvania. I'm not so sure America is going to do that. Ruben Gallego, this guy you're going to hear from today. Sounds like he's putting his toe in the water. He's trying to be kind of a badass with this whole military insurrection thing that we're going to talk about in more detail in the next segment. Also, Wes Moore. So you got the governor of Maryland. He's been the governor for a hot second. Why not? It's time for another black man. Okay, whatever. What are your qualifications? Then you've got zero qualifications, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and of course, Gavin Newsom. Are you excited, Democrat friends, about any of those names? Any of those people do it for you? They get your stomach going. Yes, no. It's all the same stuff. And the qualifying factor for whomever I believe is going to ultimately get that nod is who can resist Trump. See, that is another thing I need to talk to you Democrats about. Why do you want to resist innovation? Why do you want to resist manufacturing? Why do you want to resist security? Why do you want to resist getting all of the people in our communities who put us and our children in danger? Why do you resist getting those people out? Why do you resist cleaning up neighborhoods and restoring the American dream? Why do you resist pumping the Keystone Pipeline? Why do you resist lower gas prices and energy independence? Why do you resist taking out Iran's nuclear capacity and basically giving the rest of the planet a sigh of relief? Like, what are you for? Because if you're against all of that, I got to know if what you're for is whatever Donald Trump is against or vice versa. I'm sorry. You're well past lost. Well past. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, the U.S. military now investigating Mark Kelly, potential court martial. Let's talk about it next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. All right, I promised you I was going to tell you about this. This is a great opportunity, and it doesn't happen often. You use the promo code RUMBLE. This is not like a 35. I've seen CB Distillery do 25%. I've seen them do like a Memorial Day 30%. I don't even know if they've gone up as high as 40%. So whatever has pushed these people to go nutty, up to 60% off. all of their stuff. And you're like, wait, what? cbdistillery.com, promo code Rumble. It's the perfect time to stock up on your stuff. You have problems with pain after exercise, you got muscle soreness, et cetera, they've got something for that. You have a hard time with stress and anxiety and sometimes just feel like you could lose it. CB Distillery, they got something for that. You have a problem sleeping, staying asleep, feeling good when you wake up, CB Distillery. They got a solution for that. They're clean. They don't put any junk in it, no fillers, no jazz, no crap. It's just good stuff. It's a company I believe in. I've spoken to them. I understand their priorities, and their priorities are customer satisfaction and the highest quality ingredients. cbdistillery.com, CBD products. Try them. Life-changing. cbdistillery.com. Use the promo code RUMBLE to get that 60% off. It's a great time. Great time. So, did we get any responses to anybody when we had that query if the locals thing was nothing? Was it worthwhile? Was it not? I don't know if we got any responses. I would think it would be tremendously worthwhile if I wanted to know in a pretty short synopsis, short period of time, what's going on in the world. I think our locals page is a worthy $5 a month investment. But that's me. Maybe you guys don't. Let's see. Hi, Stag. Oh my gosh, that's such a great point. Stag says, kind of funny that our president has 5 kids, 3 baby mamas, lives in government housing, has an immigrant wife, and they still don't like him. That is the line of the day. I love it.
You know, some people have said he's part of the deep state,
Who?
Trump. And it's just like, I don't even get it because he's doing everything they hate.
Yeah. Or
And that the lawfare against him is like, I can't square that.
Am I just dumb? Do I have these in the wrong ears? I don't think that's possible. No. I was having a wardrobe malfunction here for a little bit. Sorry. Hi, Wendy, 1967, and Sonny James. Hi, Carla Hare. It's great to be with you guys. Good morning, Boogie 4444. Hi, Wishnick 6. I'm telling you, like every name I'm looking at is new. Hi, Holiday Statistic. Yon Wayne, I know you and Party Foul.
We are over 75.3 now.
That is exciting. What's the number?
75,304.
That's awesome. So exciting. You know what? We are getting ever closer to that precious time that our friend is going to be going to the Simkovich Concussion Institute. And I think there's so many possibilities for people who have issues, vestibular issues, problems with traumatic brain injury, tremors, people who suffer headaches. I think there's such a healing potential for you at the Simkovich Concussion Institute. And I know it's in Pittsburgh, so people are like, I'm supposed to travel to Pittsburgh. Well, yeah. And you're not going to regret it. You know, and if he sees you, if he sees an MRI or what have you, and Dr. Simkovich says, you know what, come on in, block out 3 or 4 days with me. And we'll get you in this intensive, there's no surgery. It's not going to hurt you. You're not going to bleed, no needles. It's literally an expert feeling around your mouth, your head, and seeing and feeling what is out of whack, easing things back into position and remediating your problems. That's it, giving you your life back. And if our friend who has some pretty significant tremors can see even a moderate reduction, I mean, she can't even put on mascara, let alone lipstick or hold a drink to her lips. That's how pervasive it is. I'll be delighted. So that's coming up in less than a month. And I'm going to tell you all about it as much as my friend tells me. But I'm very hopeful.
Less than 2 weeks.
Hope is.
It got moved up.
To what date?
I
thought it was mid-December.
Yeah.
I just, I think hope is, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it to hope. 412-366-3700. That's the number, 412-366-3700. I've seen what this man does. SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Thank you for being here, you guys. Kind of a weird week having Friday off. And then my kids tell me they don't want to wake up early to go Black Friday shopping.
Not me.
I might go by myself then.
Can't afford it.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. I hate most frustrating liberal strategies is to try something completely ridiculous, to not admit it when you get caught, so you double down. And then when your butt is on the line and everybody knows you're a rat-fink liar, drop something like racism or death threats as a backdoor excuse to drift off from the public spotlight. But I think we need to shine a bright light on these people. I think we do. And Mark Kelly playing the victim card, James Comey playing the victim card. It's so insulting to an American electorate, many of whom are wide awake to what these people have been up to. You know, all we want is people to be held accountable. We watched January 6ers be held accountable for something they didn't do. We saw people, January 6ers, put in prison who weren't even at the Capitol on January 6th because of what they might do in the future. And I want you to think about the lunacy of that argument. Oh, we need to protect everybody. Well, they haven't done anything wrong. Well, they could. And that's just a risk we're not willing to take, is moronic and stupid, and everybody knows it. Mark Kelly. He's the only guy whose distinction in the military now makes it basically actionable for the military to go after him. So I want to read you this. It's a pretty good synopsis from the Washington Examiner. And the Pentagon says it's announcing a thorough review into Mark Kelly over the illegal orders video. Now, presuming none of you has been living under a rock, you've heard about this. 6 members of Congress, various iterations of military service, some in military analysts, CIA, Air Force, whatever. These 6 people get up and they encourage in a video that's been scripted by somebody, whomever the puppeteer is, right? Here's your script. And you're going to read your script, and then we're going to edit it into pieces, and we're going to put it out there, and we're going to send a message to the active military, to all the young people out there who don't like Donald Trump. And we're going to say to them, look, it's very patriotic to disobey illegal orders. Now, of course, none have been given, and there's nothing to describe, but he could. And just in case, just know that if that happens, just in the off chance that you can resist. Now, of course, if any member of the military, presumably, defies a direct order, there are swift and serious consequences. Well, these 6 military folks who are now in Congress aren't going to be there to bail you out. So be smart about it. The War Department announced yesterday it's going to conduct a thorough review of serious allegations of misconduct levied against Senator Mark Kelly from Arizona, who is a retired Navy captain. The review will determine further action, which may include recall to active duty for court-martial proceedings or administrative measures, according to the department's statement, which was published on social media. So, of course, Trump comes out after they publish this video, and he's like, you realize that encouraging mutiny is an act of treason. It is an act of sedition. That is a hangable offense, if you will. That's punishable by death. And then, of course, when they get caught, Mark Kelly and others, what's her face, Alyssa Slotkin and Jake Sullivan's wife, because, it's also interesting how everybody's married. Media, administration, politicians, right? When all this came out and started to unravel, Mark Kelly all of a sudden started getting death threats Can you believe it? Because of Trump. It's his fault. He told people I should die. And of course, we're like, no, he said no such thing. And your theatrics are really unbecoming. Not your office per se, but at least your military rank. Sir, what happened to you? Well, after the review was announced, War Secretary Pete Hegseth said, look, the video made by the seditious six, it was despicable, reckless, and false. Encouraging our warriors to ignore the orders of their commanders undermines every aspect of good order and discipline. Their foolish screed sows doubt and confusion, which only puts our warriors in danger. So Kelly, one of 6 Democratic veterans in Congress, participating in a video warning service members that they are obligated not to follow illegal orders. However, the lawmakers did not specify what orders could be issued that would be illegal. Well, that was interesting. Kind of. It was egregious, desperate. You think of all the things these people could be focused on that would benefit you and your family. And instead, they're whipping up this narrative, which is extraordinarily dangerous and highly un-American. Well, Alyssa Slotkin ended up getting grilled on television over the weekend about this. Former CIA, she's now a senator. And it's interesting because she's caught basically lying. She says, look, no one has to carry out orders that violate the law. In fact, it's not about anything that Trump has said that's illegal. It's just these gymnastics that they're making. And they're specifically pissed that the narco boats are getting blown up. That's the story, that Trump and Pete are blowing up all these narco terrorists, 20-odd boats, 80-odd, drug runners. And the Democrats put their eggs in that basket. They want the intel. They want a seat at the table. They want to know what this administration knows about these terrorists before they blow them up. And what we know is that they can't be trusted. You can't be trusted with secrets. You couldn't be trusted with knowledge that the military was going to take out Iran's nuclear stuff, because you would have blown the lid on that. You are not trustworthy because your allegiance is not to America. It's to your own political survival. And there's a difference. Jesse Waters last night had a great clip. And he's like, look, I've got some people who I know who are government, and they tell me don't fall for this story about the illegal order mumbo jumbo. It's a big psychological operation meant to weave into the fabric of our country the possibility of revolt. Listen.
So I talked to 2 CIA officers who said that this is a part of a larger hoax, and what they're doing here is they're trying to condition the country to prepare for something bad that's about to happen at the hands of Donald Trump. It's straight out of the CIA playbook. It's a destabilization operation where you get people to mistrust each other. And you do this because she's an analyst. And as an analyst, she would make sure what propaganda operations were successful, which ones weren't. So she knows what works. So the first part of the video, you establish authority. I'm CIA, I'm military, you need to trust us. Second part of the video, they introduce the threat. And the threat's not foreign, the threat's domestic, the threat's Donald Trump. And then at the end, they introduce the solution. What's the solution? You resist, you say no. But they don't give an option. They say this is an obligation for you to do. Now, she is being run because she didn't come up with this herself. She's a Brennan acolyte, and you usually don't have congressmen and senators doing anything together. They kind of hate each other. So in order to organize this had to have had some sort of handler telling her what to do. And it was risky because nothing like this has ever been done in the history of the country. And you can even tell because the media was skeptical and they couldn't answer the question. So they hadn't even been read in on the operation. You see them fumbling and stumbling. And I'm glad that the U.S. military is now investigating this guy, Kelly, because this is what we expect from Donald Trump 2.0. You can't have the deep state interfering with a duly elected presidency and get away with it. You got to draw the line in the sand, and you have to make examples out of people.
Media questioning it themselves. Martha Raddatz on ABC News over the weekend basically asked Alyssa Slotkin, hey, do you know of anything? So what has Donald Trump said or done that's been illegal? What order has been given? And Slotkin said, to my knowledge, I'm not aware of things that are illegal, but certainly there are some legal gymnastics. Curious. That are going on with these Caribbean strikes and everything related to Venezuela. Well, no, we're trying to get drugs from coming across to our country, Alyssa. Legal gymnastics, though, is not what Slotkin and her band of Democratic deceivers mentioned in their video. All of them very specifically cited illegal orders. Yet now the story has changed. This is a dangerous mix. Truth and fiction must not be allowed to stand. A shameful statement by 6 dishonest, deceptive, manipulative, and agenda-driven officials meant to deceive the public and influence public opinion. Now, it should also be noted that absolutely none of the other things that the Democrats said in that video was true either. No military or intelligence community was being pitted against American citizens. If there was, it was during the Biden administration where they came down gangbusters on people like Mark Houck and Alfredo Luna, right? And arrested people and dragged them out of their homes. The senators and representatives also falsely claimed that the president was issuing illegal orders without any proof. They called for the U.S. military to disobey him solely because they don't like his political platform. Weren't these the people who told us that Donald Trump would never leave? Aren't these the people who've told us that he's never going to allow elections again? That he's going to stay in office in perpetuity? Isn't this the party? Aren't these the people who can easily be triggered and forced to snap like that? All Donald Trump puts on Trump 2028 on his hat, right? Isn't that party? Yeah, it is. It's amazing. Because so the whole cycle of power and control, we are supposed to vote on that. Our elected officials are supposed to collaborate together, right? To do the will of the people. We have a bunch of people who are doing the will of the deep state. The deep state who realizes that Elon Musk and Doge was honing in. They were honing in, ladies and gentlemen, on the heart of the grift. And their fingerprints in Congress are all over it. Their checking accounts, their trading, their market trades. How else do you get Elon out of the fray? You got to turn the tables. You got to go against Tesla. Draw him out. Create some kind of a division between him and Trump. The reality is, Elon and company were over the mark. And the work continues today, which is brilliant. So they failed yet again in their strategies. Makes you wonder if they're this desperate to put out a video that is this injurious. How far would they go to take down Donald Trump? Well, we've seen it twice. That's the answer. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, it's curious. Right on the heels of Arizona Senator Ruben Gallego being considered a top 5 contender to be 2028 presidential nominee for the Democrats, there's a pretty interesting video he puts out. It's a very potty mouth. It's not very becoming of a senator or a military man. But he's resisting, ladies and gentlemen, with his F-bombs and his fists. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I'm going to read this about blood flow because I actually have it nearby today. And it's beautiful. I love your commentary about this. And I love those who stick with it. Those who, let's see. Hi, Wendy. I'm 65. I've been having trouble with my blood pressure. I've had and having energy since I had COVID back in 2021. I was losing hope that I would ever get better. I've been listening to your show every day for about a year now, and I always rumble, let's go. Let's go, Kim. Since you were having good results with Blood Flow 7, I decided to order it, and I got the 4-month subscription. Wow, that's a commitment, Kim. right? I was just suggesting try it for a month and see if you like it. Praying that it would actually work for me for the first couple of weeks. I didn't really notice anything different, so I was starting to doubt my decision. Well, yesterday was our annual Christmas tree hunting day where we go into the mountains and pick out the one, we cut it down ourselves. You do that once, you think it's fun, and then it sucks. So that's my personal. I hope you had a great time. Sorry, I pooed in your mouth on that one. We were hiking up and down several mountains. And I was, for the first time since 2021, able to join my family in this. I was very surprised. I was able to keep up with everyone. I've been checking my blood pressure, and it is now staying around 127/84. My mind has been clearer, and I have hope back. Thank you for all you do. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. I won't go a day without it. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. It's what it does. Clarity, focus, strength, stamina, grit. You're not yawning in the day anymore, crashing in the afternoon, and you sleep like a flippin' baby. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. See? Brock just ordered some. What's going on over there, Brock? Good talk. Good talk.
So I'm trying to figure out sorry, I'm trying to think.
I'm trying to figure out how I can get rid of these bags under my eyes. Anybody?
There's some things that I can't help.
I'm trying. There's not a whole lot you can do. Like, it's just what it is, right? Whatevs. We can still be fabulous. I might have a little mental defect today. What are you trying to figure out?
I'm trying to figure out if I restart this computer because it's catching it's the button.
Yes, you're having problems with it.
Yeah, it's hitting the box, but the box isn't talking to the computer.
So you think maybe if you started again, what's the downside if it
Relay, what they call relays so the stations get a relay and I fire theirs. And
let's get up to 277, guys. 400.
I'm wondering if it's the board.
Oh, goody. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? That would be a bummer.
But I can't. I'll call Jason during the break.
Okay.
While you're talking, so I'll do both.
Yes, we are switching noon until 3 starting January 5th. New time slot for us. Brock was bitching too much about his beauty rest. So.
Really? I don't have bags under my eyes.
Yeah, I know, right? What did you get in the mail yesterday,
I got
honey
an
bunny?
ARP card, and for all of you out there, I know they're liberal. I did not sign up for it.
No, we're gonna hound you and beat you like a drum.
Like everybody's telling you got AMAC. I get it. It was a joke.
I wonder if any of it really benefits you. I think it's just a way to get on another freaking mailing list. Please contact WRTA. I know that I don't think they're taking us live. I don't know. I mean, everybody's got decisions they've got to make. I get it. Personally, I should be the decision, but just kidding. Oh, I've got like a fuzz in my eye. It's driving me nutty. Yeah, that made it better. Their voice with a little bit more regularity. There's a reason for that. You know, it's such a predictable, planned, plotted, scripted lifestyle. Do you think that people in Congress ever just go with it? Do you think they show up at work without having like battle axes out, and some agenda that they need to accomplish and some self-fulfillment they need to push forward? Or do they just go and say, you know, what are we doing today that's good for the American people? I don't know. I never hear that. I never heard about Ruben Gallego. He wasn't a big name on my bingo card, but all of a sudden he's popping up more and more. And apparently this is his time now to audition for his role in the presidential hopeful field for the Democratic Party for 2028. And what he's saying is, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. He is number 4. Washington Examiner put out this top 10 list of top presidential contenders for the Democrats. Ruben Gallego, senator from Arizona. He has the ideal biography for a Democratic presidential nominee. The son of immigrants, Gallego grew up poor in Chicago, raised by a single mother. You can see the ads right now, can't you? And the music. Not only was he the first in his family to go to college, he's also a Marine who served in Iraq. He has impeccable progressive credentials. Great. Joining the Congressional Progressive Caucus upon entering Congress in 2015 and co-sponsoring the Medicare for All Act and the People's Budget. The only thing he has moderated on is immigration, voting for the Lake and Riley Act and producing a comprehensive immigration plan that the Wall Street Journal editorial board would love. He outperformed Kamala Harris by 8 points in Arizona, proving he can win independent and Republican votes in a swing state. He's young, 46. That's going to be an asset for any Democrat in 28 as the party is looking for fresh faces after the geriatric failure of Biden. He might not run, but recent trips to Iowa and Pennsylvania show he's at least thinking about it. This is Ruben Gallego flexing his muscles, resisting Donald Trump, who had said rightly, look, you want to encourage mutiny in the military? That's punishable by death. It is, if you look at it. And Ruben is going to drop multiple F-bombs and act like a really big, tough guy. He reminds me of my dog, Murphy, who whimpers out on the sidewalk when a little pup walks by, but will bark like a demon when he's inside the house at that little dog. It's all bark, no bite. Here's Ruben Gallego. Oh, my.
This is insane. We should all point out how insane this is. Hey, this is Ruben Gallego. I'm traveling through Arizona right now, and I just received the news that the Department of Defense is starting an investigation against my seatmate, Mark Kelly. This is insane. We should all point out how insane this is. And, you know, these guys are trying to say that they're not acting like fascists, they're not trying to give as much power to this president as a king, and they should stop acting like it. Mark Kelly's a patriot. There's no reason why they're going after him. He was doing his duty and just reminding people about their rights as service members. And, you know, Secretary Hegseth, all these guys, you guys, you're not going to be able to scare us. We have a right to defend the Constitution of the United States. We have a right to tell other service members that they have a right to ignore illegal orders, and you're not going to be able to intimidate us.
Wow, I counted 5 or 6 F-bombs. When did that be okay? When did it become okay for a sitting senator to speak that way? Like, what is that? It's so unbecoming. And even the Washington Examiner picked up on it. Gallego tells Pentagon, F you and your investigation over the Mark Kelly inquiry. You know what that's so curious about Senator Gallego? He apparently was supposed to be on the video too, right? With his 6 seditious compatriots. And apparently he was just too daggone busy. He couldn't squeeze it in his busy day. Couldn't possibly sit down for the 45 seconds it would take to do that PSA. I wonder if he's now counting his lucky stars that he did not. Because like Mark Kelly, my suspicion is he would be able to be court-martialed or in some capacity face a military disciplinary action. So Ruben Gallego entering your realm of knowledge with FF Trump. It's impressive, isn't it? That's what resisting sounds like, apparently. Hour 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program on tap. You know, there is no money in peace. You don't make money when people get along. Apparently, this thing in Russia and Ukraine, it's so not over. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. So I want to tell you quickly about wendylovesgold.com. wendylovesgold.com. That's an easier link than texasbullionexchange.com. So they and we switch some things around. Look, this is our number one sponsor. Texas Bullion Exchange is our number one sponsor. They sponsor our podcast. They're the lead sponsor on the podcast, and they're the main sponsor of this program. And it's fantastic, and I enjoy them so much. I have really enjoyed getting into, as you've experienced, because I bring in a bunch of show and tell. I don't know anything about gold and silver, but I do know that having pieces of history, it's so interesting, and it's such a great way to diversify and to prepare for tomorrow. So put your family back on the gold standard. The dollar is not, I mean, if you think about it, since 1971, when we left the gold standard, the dollar has lost roughly 90% of its value. That's nuts. Meanwhile, you see 7,000%. That's the gold has gained over 7,000% in the same time. I really think it's all going to be about silver. And this is one of those beautiful.
It's up again.
Huh?
It's up again.
What
Silver.
Oh, is it up again?
Yeah.
So this is my troy ounce. This is 9.99. 10 ounces of pure, fine silver from Germanium Mint. And it's just, you can get these beautiful pieces. Just exquisite. And I mean, that's a chunk of silver. That'll leave a mark. Chuck it at somebody's face. I so enjoy having it in my hands. You can also have it in your portfolio. What you need to do is write down the phone number because they're wonderful. 855-927-5557. Oh my gosh. When that phone rings, they know it's one of you. And so they like fight over who gets the call and they know that it's true. And then usually somebody who's a Wendy Bell radio listener tells a story about how they heard about Texas Bullion Exchange or what have you, or tells a story about Brock or me. And Texas Bullion Exchange loves that. They love that we're all connected. We all have similar goals. Texas Bullion Exchange at wendylovesgold.com, 855-927-5557. I think I'm going to start collecting these.
I'm going to run if that's okay.
Please. What else do you guys want to talk about? Let me hop back over here and see how you're doing. Let's see. Do we have 277? Oh my goodness. We need 270 to go to get to 277. I have these made up benchmarks that I want to get, but you know, it is what it is. What do I want to talk about? There is some vile, creepy crud going on out there. I had it about 2 months ago and was sick for probably a month. It's probably been longer than that, but this is one of those things that I think is such a great protective measure. HealthyCell.com/Wendy. This is supplementation without pills. And every single one of the varieties, and there's got to be, I don't know, 12 or 15 different kinds for different parts of your body, your eyes, your heart, your calm, your focus, your sleep, hair, skin, and nails, all of it. There is a formula for that. And this one is the Immune Super Boost. This is that force field. I would say taking one of these a day during cold and flu season is a super, super wise decision to make. And I'll tell you what's in it. Where are my stupid glasses? It says immunity activating vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients, including vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, and echinacea for powerful immune support. This is blackberry. It's a microgel dietary supplement. Total calories, 25. There you go. And you get that little bubble around you during cold and flu season. I'm telling you, it's a nice preventive kick in the pants. HealthyCell.com/Wendy, 20% off your first order. Throw in REM and focus. You will love me for that. You will love me more than you already do. If that's even possible. I know. This dreariness out here is too
Yes. It's icky, as some would say.
It's disappointing.
I figured it out.
I'd rather be in a cave. You did.
No, I proposed a question to our engineer, Jason,
Yes.
and I didn't see it there's an update on this one computer. It's just like
Oh,
the minute they say there's an update, it kind of throws
everything gets
off.
haywire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's on
Well,
me.
fix it.
Well, I was gonna restart it, but he's like, and I asked him, like,
Do it now.
I'm like, I have 6 minutes. He's like, how many updates? I said, it doesn't stay until you hit it. He's like, yeah, no.
All right, we need 200. 200 rumbles to get to the all elusive 2.77. Why is it that number? I have no idea. But that's what I think we should have.
See, don't you love how we tell you all the ins and outs of things not working?
Well, yeah, it is the deal. We have had our share of issues.
Yeah.
Like when Verizon or who have Comcast decided to do line maintenance for like 5 weeks. And we're like, dude, I swear to God, I'll stab you and throw you down the stairs.
People were like, well, get this one, get that one. It's like, you want to have a backup. It's like, to have a backup to do live streaming, you might as well just buy both, which starts to get expensive.
Backstage pass, Amanda says. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I wish I had that healthy cell before I got that creepy crud. Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. I'd rather be not that sick ever again. Oh, you like my top? Thank you. Boston Dave, Wendy, that's a beautiful. You know when a man says something is beautiful?
No.
Well, you're a blockhead, so.
Wow.
Boston Dave, Wendy in glasses, va voom. Boston Dave, we need to talk a little bit. It's okay.
Come on, Boston.
I love you to death, but let's be real.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with healthcare and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
All righty. Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. Remember, if you want to get the whole show, wendybellradio.com. That's how you watch live. Or you can get our podcast, same name, put it in wherever you get your favorite listening material. I hope you follow us. So this whole thing with Ukraine, I was surprised when that 28-point plan that we were told the president had been working with, ostensibly with Steve Witkoff and others as his envoy for these negotiations around the world to freaking end the wars. Can people just stop dying? Democrats are against that. Isn't that amazing? Because if you're against Donald Trump, you're against peace. You're for war. That just doesn't make sense to me. How do you do that? Right? I was surprised when we were reading this that it sounded as though, in some news reports, that Vladimir Zelensky was like, look, this has been a long war. We've lost a generation of fathers. You know, our entire countryside has been blown to smithereens. We have no industry. We need to get back to being the producer of the world's grain, etc. We are the breadbasket. Maybe it's time for this to come to an end. And I was like, oh, I don't know about that. That kind of doesn't sound like him at all. And then lo and behold, today, it's like, yeah, I don't think so. We don't like that plan. It's been whittled down, I guess, to 19 action items. I've heard that these were Putin wish list things, and they weren't necessarily supposed to be seen by Zelensky. I don't know. I don't know what the true story is. All I know is that Trump's trying to get it stopped. So I want to read you this. Apparently, Ukraine has drawn a red line in the sand. There is a full stop, no, thank you, we'll continue. being impoverished? Are people starving? Right? Forever, because we won't give to Russia land that Russia says is theirs, but we believe they stole from us. Right? We're gonna keep this, because that was what the whole thing started being about. Biolabs, the Nazis, and there's a darker underbelly of this war, of course, that I believe is child trafficking. Do I have strong proof of that? I have strong proof to me, but we'll see what happens. On Monday, the Zelensky government laid out its red lines concerning the U.S. proposed peace plan with Russia, which demands that Kiev agree to territorial concessions in the eastern Donbas region. Ukraine's senior political leaders and lawmakers, including Zelensky, the president, set firm non-negotiable conditions for any future peace agreement with Russia, coupled with a warning that Moscow is attempting to force the international community to accept its territorial seizures. This is according to the Ukrainian military, or media rather. The Kiev Post cited Parliament Speaker Ruslan Stefanchuk as making clear that Ukraine will not accept any form of legal recognition of Russia's occupation, nor will it accept that restrictions be placed on its armed forces, given the U.S. 28-point plan that calls for just that. The statement is said to also express the will of the presidential office. So this is the weird pickle that you've got Zelensky in. Can we all agree that oftentimes war is just a giant grift? That the war machine is a huge economy spur? That there are lots of military contracts, lots of ways in which palms can be greased, and people can make a hell of a lot of money. And oh yeah, young men die as the collateral of these war games. Zelensky, I would have been surprised if he had agreed to the plan, because it requires 100 days from whenever the date it's signed, Ukraine to hold presidential elections. And guess who ain't going to be voted back? Zelensky. Unless, of course, they do some shenanigans, but I'm sure the Americans would be there to supervise, etc. This dude does not want to leave. If he leaves, he loses the insulation of the office, right? He loses all of that. Brock, what are you sending me? He's texting me something.
Breaking: Ukraine has agreed to a peace deal that would see an end to the war of Russia. A U.S. official tells Fox News.
All right. Very interesting times, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll keep flushing this out. I thought it was very intriguing, because if you're going to draw a line in the sand, you're going to have perpetual war. You're going to never have peace. You're going to absolutely destroy a section of Europe, and it will not be rebuilt. And you will risk Donald Trump walking away and shutting the door, quite possibly forever. I've given you a million opportunities. I know you have to save face. It's time to end. End it. While this is going on, I do take some perverse pleasure in this, I will admit. The Vindman brothers, what leaders, what American heroes. Well, they're in a little bit of hot water. Apparently, you remember these two guys who helped impeach President Trump in 2020. It appears that they are now under investigation. Stop. The Ukrainian dudes are under investigation for what? If war is such a grift and a moneymaker at base value, what were the Vindmans reportedly doing? Trying to get in the intermediary of military contracts to Ukraine, apparently. We'll see how this flushes out. Here's your headline. From Headline USA, Vindman brothers who helped impeach Trump in 2020 are now under investigation. Vindman's on the payroll of Ukrainian oligarchs and has committed treason against the United States, for which he will pay the appropriate penalty. Well, I disagree that he'll pay any penalty, because we haven't seen any Democrat pay a penalty at all They didn't pay a penalty for setting up Trump with Russia collusion. They didn't pay a penalty when they lied about Hillary's server. They didn't pay a penalty when it came to Benghazi. It was just a video. What difference does it make? They didn't pay a penalty when 4 Americans lost their lives. They didn't pay a penalty when they left Abbey Gate and we lost 13 service members and hundreds of others got blown to smithereens. We didn't get any of that, right? There was no punishment. Well, we'll see what happens. Eugene Vindman, let's see what we got here. Eugene Vindman, representative, right? Of course, they fail upwards into Congress. He's a Democrat out of Virginia. And his twin brother, Alexander, are reportedly under investigation for illegally acting as paid brokers for U.S. defense firms seeking business in Ukraine. Pentagon General Counsel Earl Matthews alleges Vindman and his twin brother Alex did not have approval from the U.S. government before seeking to act as paid brokers for American defense firms pursuing contracts with Ukraine after Russia's 2022 full-scale invasion. This is what the Washington Post is reporting. This letter does not explicitly allege the Vindmans received money from the Ukrainian government. Well, shoot, the Bidens did. I mean, come on. Like, honest to God, we know that a sitting president wasn't just demonstrably, credibly accused of grifting while in office as vice president, right? How much did you get? $30 million with the Biden crime family syndicate? Who gets cars and diamonds from China? I mean, who gets millions of dollars from Moscow? Who gets millions of dollars from Ukraine and Kazakhstan? Who? Joe Biden. Shoot, if you don't put something on your tax return, you've got the IRS sniffing up your skirt. But it's $30 million and it's sprinkled among a bunch of shell companies and family members. I guess, whatever, who cares? Do I sit here and think that Alexander Vindman, no-lip dork that he is? The whole no-lip thing, it just drives me nutty. And his whole brother thing, where we're listening in on this that's how this whole impeachment of Trump, #1, happened, right? Eric Charmello was listening to the phone conversation, but Vindman, he's like, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to be the hero. I'm going to testify that I'm going to write a book about it, which I bet dollars to donuts is a New York Times bestseller. So we're going to look at this. We're going to see what's going on with this deal. This would be an historic 9th peace plan for one president in one calendar year. And you know that the Democrats cannot allow another victory for this president, his administration, or the millions of us who, yep, I voted for that. So we'll see how it goes down as the Vindmans hopefully are getting sphinctered up as the military starts its expedition up there. You know what, my friends. So Donald Trump is moving the chess pieces in the Caribbean Sea. Have you been paying attention to this? He's got the USS Gerald Ford in position. This thing is a monster. He's got all the support craft in the sea just off of Nicolas Maduro's porch. Why ever would that be? As now we hear that the Democrats are really clamoring for some intel on who these people are that Trump and Pete Hegseth are blowing up in the oceans. Seems like people are worried that the drug trade is about to go the way of Act Blue and USAID, right? Let's talk about this next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
Sorry to spring that on you.
Yeah, I can't read.
Right.
And da-da-da-da. All right. I did that. Healthy through the holidays. Is it possible to stay healthy through the holidays? Yeah, it is. I think the thing I like about what Dr. Dubiak does with his weight loss campaign at bodybyAIM360.com is that he teaches you something that you get to use for life. You know, it's not one of these things where you lose all this weight and then you forget everything you learned and you fall off the wagon and boom, you're heavy again. And then you're like, got to go back and see Dr. Dubiak. You have it all. You don't have to come in for weigh-ins. You don't have to come in for a counseling session. You don't have new strategies. You know what works because it's based off of your blood. And the blood work is ridiculously priced, so affordable. If you went to your PCP and said, you know what, I'd like you to test these 65 different biomarkers, including 12 different hormones, so I can figure out what's going on in my gut while I feel terrible, dragged out, fatigued all the time, and why I'm fat. Can we do that? They'd be like, yeah, if you've got a couple grand. Dr. Dubiak does it for $199. 412-227-9255. You can stay healthy over the holidays. You can stay in control. And if you fall off the wagon, you can get back on. BodybyAim360.com. BodybyAim360.com. It is what they do. And they do it really, really well. Man, I used Knockout like it was nobody's business yesterday.
Yeah.
Knockout and Sniper. We had chicken wings and so chicken on the counter. After I wipe it off, I'm not taking chances with that stuff. Woof. Chicken skeeves me out, raw chicken, doesn't it?
Yes.
Doesn't it total skeeve you?
I wash my hands probably 50 times when I'm.
And by the way,
chicken.
Juicy chicken wings are not a good thing. That's just. There shouldn't be pink and juice with chicken.
Ooh. Who was cooking?
I was.
Oh.
No, we baked them on convection for 2 hours and then put them in the air fryer.
For what, like 5 minutes?
I know. I do them. I flip them. So one side at 370 for like 8 minutes, and then I flip them in the other side for 7. Yeah. So they're pretty crispy. And
oh, did you use it?
yes. Oops. I never know how to go.
Did
with
you like him?
I did. Hunt Chef Spices at disinfectwithsniper.com. You know what's nice about them? They're not heavy on the salt. They're heavy on the flavor. So you don't need to use a lot, and you don't get blown out of your socks with like, woo, salt. Fantastic. What was the one I used? Something dust.
All dusted up?
Yeah, all dusted up. Oh, my goodness. And it's beautiful flavors. Disinfectwithsniper.com. Buy everything on that site. I'm telling you. Everything I like about that company. If you haven't already, remember free shipping on Sniper. So you might as well throw in 4 of those spices because you're
Gonna want them.
yeah.
Can I ask a favor?
Yes.
To the hard breaks, don't talk up to it.
Okay.
I mean, like 5 seconds.
Yes. I'll give you 10. How about that?
You do whatever you want.
Well, apparently not.
It's your world. We're just living in it.
Well, doesn't feel like that.
Fox is also breaking that. Oh, where'd it go? They're interviewing the senators. FBI is scheduling interviews with 6 lawmakers who encourage military members to refuse orders.
Damn right.
Hell yeah.
You've got to take action somewhere. Who's going to be the person who's held responsible for being a scumbag? Like, who's that person? They have to invent people on our side to then throw away in prison for what they might do. I hate everybody. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell Radio program. So, President Trump is taking an offensive posture off the coast of Venezuela. And it's kind of interesting to see what's going on. All of these various parts of the puzzle. So first, he claims that President Nicolas Maduro is the head of this drug cartel De La Sols. Then yesterday, Trump comes out and he designates De La Sols a foreign terrorist organization network, essentially. And that gives him specific designation for possible strikes. Meanwhile, you've got the people behind the video encouraging the military, the members of the military, to basically resist orders from the commander-in-chief, which is just baffling, who we understand are now being investigated and being interviewed by the military as we speak. You got to wonder if what Trump is doing is sending a strong message that we might be in for some regime change. Maybe they're positioning off of the coast of Venezuela as sort of the muscle for what might be happening within the country. Trump administration labels the Venezuelan cartel de los Sols as a foreign terrorist organization. This designation will let the Trump administration impose sanctions and crack down on Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's assets. I don't think Trump wants to send people in there. I don't think he wants to strike Venezuela. I think he's sitting there flexing his muscles and saying to Nicolas Maduro, my man, I don't think this is the hill you want to die on, because your people are tired of living underneath your crazy rule. And they want to be free. The Trump administration announced Monday it has designated the Venezuelan Cartel de los Sols as a foreign terrorist organization, the State Department formally announcing the designation in the Federal Register. It was originally written on November 16th. Cartel de los Sols is a network of government and military officials in Venezuela engaged in drug trafficking, the Hill News announced reporter, or the news outlet reported, rather. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said last week that the Cartel de los Sols and other Venezuelan cartels were responsible for terrorist violence throughout our hemisphere, as well as for trafficking drugs into the United States and Europe. So what is this designation going to mean? It's going to let the Trump administration impose sanctions and crack down on Maduro's assets, as the United States military has launched strikes on suspected drug smuggling boats in the Caribbean. So as that is going on, Pete Hegseth and Pam Bondi are trying to declassify the Department of Justice's classified legal opinion outlining the legal basis for taking out narco boats. So you guys want some accountability? All right. Senate Democrats are asking Hegseth and Bondi to declassify the Department of Justice memo that basically underscores the justification for these narco drug boat blasts, these lethal kinetic strikes. I don't know how much you guys need to know about that. I don't. I'm going to go with our military apparently knows where every cartel boss lives and knows what the front door of their home looks like. Do you think they know who the people are hopping in their boats in the darkness of whatever to speed across the ocean and hope they can offload their wares here in the United States? 13 Senate Democrats, all members of the Senate Armed Services Committee, they're demanding an expeditious declassification and public release of these classified opinions, which was drafted over the summer and argued that U.S. troops who participate in boat strikes, which have taken place on both sides of South America, cannot be prosecuted. Few decisions are more consequential for a democracy than the use of lethal force, the Senate Democrats wrote in a Monday letter to Bondi and Hegseth. Why is it always Democrats put their eggs in the violent offenders basket? They're not out worrying about the 450,000 missing illegal children who got trafficked into this country without an adult. They're worried about protecting the terrorists behind the moves. They're not worried about the carnage in America's main streets, where we've seen how many hundreds of thousands of our sons and daughters die because of these drugs coming across our oceans. They're more worried about the rights of the cartel members to continue profiting off of America's pain and death. What do Democrats support that's good for you? What do they do that helps you? What do they do that speaks to you? I have no idea. I'm struggling with this every single day, my friends. We'll see what Bondi and Hegseth do. Declassify it. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, Minnesota Democrats choose the Somalis over Americans. Maybe they're in on the grift. Wait till you hear this story next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Okay, we'll see. They might declassify that. Look, they say the Trump administration, Caroline Leavitt, has made it abundantly clear that this administration is operating strictly within the parameters of the law. And they have to, because everything they do ends up getting litigated. So you either going to push the envelope and lose, or you're going to know what the realm of your operations is, and you're going to stay within that. So release it. We'll see what happens. I love that Vindman and his brother, what nerds. What tragic people. Disappointing. Very disappointing. Let me tell you guys about Lean. This is the brickhousesale.com, up to 30% off. I'm going to tell you, if you have somebody in your life who's going through their immune system's being ravaged right now, maybe they have cancer, they're going through chemotherapy, maybe they're getting some radiation, maybe they've lost their hair. I've watched 2 family members go through it, and it takes a beating on you. And they lost weight, and they struggled with strength and stamina and looking good again. But Brickhouse Nutrition, Field of Greens, the number of people who've written me and said, if I hadn't had that while chemotherapy, my hair grew back. I've never seen anything so drastically different. Beautiful, luscious, thick, lustrous hair. Didn't have it before. I do now. My skin looks good. I feel better. Field of Greens. This is all Brickhouse Nutrition. Brickhousesale.com. These are the people who make Lean. This is their diet supplement. This is their #1 weight loss offer. No shots, no drugs, but natural ingredients that help you lose significant weight slowly, 50, 60, 70 pounds. Also, their creatine for women. This is creatine to keep you staying lithe and lean and slender and toned, no matter your age. I like it. I'll have 5. Brickhousesale.com, up to 30% off right now. Brickhousesale.com. There is no promo code to worry about, which is nice. Oh, boy.
That time it worked.
Okay, yeah, I don't need to push you against the wire, so just make
No, I mean, it's not so much when things go wrong, because it can all be figured out. But when it's inconsistently wrong, that's when it's like, okay,
what's going on?
What now? Karma is just giving me a little bit, I don't even know what for. I did nothing to this computer.
Ooh, we got 140 to go to hit 3,000. There's 3 minutes. We have 3 fat full minutes.
Someone asked about what happened to Chuck Juice. For me,
he's still drinking
nothing. I still drink it.
He drinks it every day.
Advertisers go in and out.
Yeah, they'll put their eggs in a bunch of different baskets, and then they'll go hardcore on one person, and they leave you alone, and then they come back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I still drink it every day.
Look, we're not fickle. I'll keep taking when Blood Flow decides they've had enough of me, and they'll be like, she's kind of annoying, even though I'm not. But they might. Then I will keep drinking. I keep eating it or keep taking it.
Of course you do. You subscribed.
I subscribed 100%. All right, not Simkovich, Dr. Rafford. You know what? Kelly Morgan. What a difference 90 days makes. You want to see what 90 days does to somebody's body? Hopefully it'll focus. There we go. Look at the top. Look at that. Look at the difference in her back. That's nuts. 90-day success story. You want to lose inches, lose fat, lose weight, gain confidence, gain strength, gain the knowledge to be in charge of your body for the rest of your life. Morgainz Fitness, MORGAINZ fitness.com.
Sit back for a second. Can you reset it? When you put that so close to the camera, it unfocuses you. There we go.
Okay. Sorry.
Well, I mean, good news is the bags under your eyes went away for that little bit of time. So, the silver lining of things.
That's not very friendly. It's not.
I'm down, so I got to kick when I'm down.
You're down?
Well, no. This is frustrating.
This Somalian thing is truly amazing. And then you've got all of the people, Democrats, coming out in favor of the Somalians. Not in favor of the Minnesotans. Not in favor of the American citizens. It's always America last. It's America last. And they're going to prey on your concern that you don't want to be labeled a racist. Well, when you want to break out of the shell of caring what these people think about you, please join me. Because, or goes a long way. Wow, that was fussy. I didn't do a Ruben Gallego 5 or 6 time F-bomb. It's so unbecoming.
Well, and he's trying to act like a tough guy. He's probably driving an electric car.
It's a Subaru. Stop it. It's freaking nutty. If you are not up to speed on what has been going on and the millions, if not billions of dollars that have been stolen from the people of Minnesota, that have been stolen by the people of this country via our tax dollars, which Democrats spend like drunken freaking lunatics, all under the guise of people need help. Stay home, stay calm. Stay safe. Yay! $3.5 trillion. Meanwhile, people who balance checkbook and who work for a living and have to meet payroll and pay insurance and are taxed out the freaking wazoo are like, you do realize that printing money isn't free. That we're all going to pay for this. Democrats are like, I don't care. You might after you hear this. Welcome back, by the way. To the Wendy Bell radio program. I had to get that out. Minnesota Democrats are choosing the Somalis over Americans. Are they in on the grift? I'm going to go with, yeah. Am I the only person out there who's not in on one of these? Brock, are you in on one of these? You making money off of deals?
I am not.
On the side?
No.
Nobody's using
I
you.
have no grift.
No grift. You're not working on a New York Times best-selling book right now?
No, I haven't even read one.
Okay, well, Minnesota Democrats are defending Somalis amid massive fraud investigations. There's a guy who ripped off with some, personal care home scam that he said he was operating, and you're going to hear the news clip of it. It's mind-bending. $7 million. $7 million that he goes and he squanders on, luxury, lavish lifestyle. Cars and trips and this and that. All this money. Alleging that he's taking care of people who he's not. And a jury finds him guilty. Like lickety-split, guilty. Open, shut, got it, jury, 5 hours, guilty. Liberal judge, yeah, I don't really like that judgment. And I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no, you're not found guilty, and you go ahead and keep doing whatever you're doing. What's going on? Are you seeing the corruption of justice? Because I am. Minnesota Democrats have sided with the state's Somali community despite evidence of widespread Somali fraud of taxpayers' health care programs. That might be the understatement of the day. Other than Eric Swalwell is a disgusting dirtbag, this is an understatement. Widespread Somali fraud. It is mind-bending. Mind-bending. And how many people had to be in on it or ignoring it? Numerous investigations have uncovered billions in fraud. Billions! That's your freaking money! Billions in fraud among several of Minnesota's overly generous welfare schemes. The cases of fraud are astounding. In one case, a group called Feeding Our Future, run by Somalis, bilked $250 million from the state. In another case, tens of millions of dollars were stolen from the state's autism treatment program. Again, by Somalis. And in a third situation, this one is like more than $550 million was stolen from Minnesota's coronavirus pandemic relief program. You don't say! It's almost like we said on day one, oh my, wait for it. Wait for it. Worse, millions of dollars of this stolen funding appear to have been redirected by Minnesota Somalians into the hands of the African terror group Al-Shabaab. Super duper! Good job, Democrats. House DFL leader Zach Stevenson, for instance, attacked President Donald Trump for suggesting that temporary protected status for Somalis should be ended. Right? Last night's announcement illustrates the worst of what Donald Trump does best. His policies are driving up the cost of everything from food to healthcare, and he knows it. You guys, billions. They stole billions. Do you want to know what makes you pay more? When people break our law to come into this country and steal your money because Democrats allow it. Democrats must get a cut of it. Democrats don't want it to stop. It is not Donald Trump who raised the interest rates around mortgages. It wasn't Donald Trump who made apartment rent outrageous. It wasn't Donald Trump that made people live paycheck to paycheck and carry outrageous credit card debt. He's trying to fix all of that. And the Democrats are pissed that he's getting trillions of dollars of trade, and they're trying to stop that as well. Why do the Democrats want you to be a last place finisher in the game called success? Why do the Democrats expect you to be the piggy bank of all of their ridiculous measures? Why? Because you've let them. I want you to hear this particular story. It's ridiculous. It's judicial activism, their new brand of justice for the Democrats. If you don't get the victory you want at the ballot box, just flip the switch, the homing devices, the beacons on your triggered liberal activist judges, so that they can be a last line of defense to ensure that the guy who did win a landslide of Americans voted for him, they can decide what is lawful and not. Really. In this audio soundbite of this news report, a judge in deep blue Hennepin County, Minnesota, has overturned the guilty verdict of some guy, Abditiva Yusuf. He sounds American. Not. For stealing $7.2 million from taxpayers in an illegal home health care op. That wasn't. Let's listen.
At the August trial for Abdi Fattah Yusuf, the jury heard evidence that he ran his home health care company Promise Health out of a mailbox at a Central Avenue address where multiple other home health care companies were supposedly located. Yusuf and his wife Lol Ahmed were charged with stealing $7.2 million of taxpayer money through Medicaid overbilling in a personal care assistant or PCA scam. The couple allegedly spent tens of thousands of the fraud money on luxury items for themselves. Despite the jury swiftly convicting Yusuf, Judge Sarah West last week decided they got it wrong.
It's reversing or overturning a jury's verdict.
Defense attorney Joe Tamburino, who's not affiliated with this case, reviewed the decision and analyzed it for KARE 11 News. He says Judge West ruled that the state's case relied heavily on circumstantial evidence and that she believed the state did not rule out other reasonable inferences.
That, in fact, there could have been other reasonable theories other than guilt in this case. That's what it comes down to.
Despite the ruling, even Judge West wrote that she is troubled by the manner in which fraud was able to be perpetuated at Promise Health.
I was stunned.
State Representative Kristen Robbins, chair of the House Fraud Prevention and State Oversight Committee, says she's now reviewing if any state laws need to be tightened.
We want to strengthen state law so that we can get prosecutions out of these cases, because clearly a jury thought he was guilty.
Jurors in the case can't believe the decision.
I am shocked. I'm shocked based off of all of the evidence that was presented to us and the obvious guilt that we saw based off of the said evidence. It was not a difficult decision whatsoever. The deliberation took probably 4 hours at most. Based off of the state's evidence that was presented, I was beyond a reasonable doubt.
Huh. Well, that's interesting and disgusting. So you have a white college-educated, liberal-triggered, toxic chick as a judge waving her magic wand, overruling a jury that in no time had no problem convicting this guy, Abdetifa Yusuf, for stealing $7 million. And we're scratching our heads as Democrats out there. Everything costs so much. I don't have any money. Really? Shocker. Now, wait, the reporter comes back on camera for a little, we call it a donut, right? You start live, you throw to your story, and you come back, so you got the donut. And here's his donut. He's like, here's the real insidious part of this. If this judge overturns this conviction and this guy is allowed to steal $7 million from the American taxpayer, it opens the door for every other Somali or Muslim or what have you, grift, scam, theft of our money to be overturned. Listen.
The attorney for Mr. Yusuf, Ian Burrell, sent me a statement today that says, in part, Judge West's ruling affirms what we have maintained from the beginning, that our client, Mr. Yusuf, was wrongfully accused and did not commit fraud or racketeering. The Attorney General's office filed an appeal this afternoon, so the Minnesota Court of Appeals will take a second look at this decision. Julie.
So, Lou, did Mr. Tamburino, did he have any kind of emotional reaction? And this is pretty stunning. This does not happen.
Yeah, he leaned towards the idea that this was kind of a one-off and that it would have a good chance at appeal. But the worry is that there's so many other cases just like it where somebody's in the exact same position as Mr. Yusuf but is charged with fraud. And if the judge can determine that maybe they didn't know that the fraud was going on underneath them in the case, then other judges could throw it out just like this one.
All right. Do you know how quickly the Court of Appeals would take this up? Any idea?
Probably months.
Fantastic. Months. While the guy can be out grifting some more. Why are there never consequences? And why is theft and deception and fraud and corruption, why does it always circle back to the Democrats? Why is that? Why is everything that is bad for America a product of the Democratic Party? Why is that? Why is there never anybody on that side who gets found guilty? Why is there never anybody there who serves time, who is made a spectacle of? Where is that? I wonder, Pam Bondi. I can't fathom the job the Attorney General has. But do you not understand that America is salivating for freaking repercussions? Those of us who never voted for this nonsense and have watched an ineffective Republican Party fight back against it. We are so dang tired. So dang tired. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Mark Kelly? Are you going to finally make an example and hold somebody accountable for once in your lives? That's what we want to know. That's what this inquiring mind wants to freaking know. Who's it going to be? Because they threw 1,500 Americans in prison over January 6th, which they invented. I am ticked. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, President Trump signs an executive order declaring the Muslim Brotherhood a terrorist organization. What took so long? Pray tell. Next. How many billions do you need to be built of? We know that what our president has done. It is an attack on our community, said some Somali activists. Hey, Khalid Omar, how about you get up and get out of my country? Get up and get out. Go home. I voted for that. You realize we voted for that. Anywho, I didn't tell you. Morgainz Fitness, Morgainz Fitness. If you want to take part in the 90-day Ignite, it's nuts. It's nuts. This is this. It's what I do. It's what I love. Dr. Gundry's. TheHealthyFat.com. Wouldn't you be so annoyed if you found out that it really wasn't all of the things that you're eating? Like if you're starving yourself and eating celery and Splenda, don't stop it, because the actual solution to much of your weight can be fixed with this drink. So Dr. Gundry discovered, he's a cardiothoracic surgeon, pediatric heart transplant specialist. Smart guy. And he did the research. And he said he's discovered what he believes is a switch inside of our bodies that can be triggered so that that our bodies dump extra calories that they hang on to just in case. It's kind of a survival mechanism. But I don't want that. I don't need extra. Let's get rid of it. Let's dump those. And that is what this does. Basically, it flips that switch and allows you to lose meaningful weight. Dr. Gundry lost 70 pounds. And keep it off. Why ever go back? It's delicious. It is a wonderful dietary supplement. I think of it as a meal replacement because I'm not hungry after I drink it for like 5 hours. So if you're one of those like sugar sweet munchy people, I've got to have something. You really won't. And you won't derail yourself. TheHealthyFat.com/Wendy. TheHealthyFat.com/Wendy. I like it. All right. What else is going on out there, beautiful people?
Jeez.
Huh?
Bombshell Senate report exposes the Biden administration forced at least 11 airports to house illegal aliens and migrants, despite warning it might place American travelers at risk. When was that from?
Remember when we saw all of them in the hallways, then they stopped allowing people to record? Sort of like when they all gathered at the bridge in Texas, whatever the bridge was, and then the reporters were flying drones and they had to ground the drones. Not allowed to fly drones. Oh, you don't want us to capture the massive humanity that there's no space for. It's Cloward Piven. I hate everybody. It's true, though. Let's see what we got coming up here. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. Let's talk about it. Muslim Brotherhood. What good comes out of that? We're told as Americans, we got to be good people. Don't you judge other people based on their religion? Don't you judge them based on their skin color? Don't you judge them based on the alphabet soup that they subscribe to? LGBTQIA plus, whatever the hell that is. Don't you judge. You be a good person. You keep your mouth shut. Nobody wants to call you a racist. We've been browbeaten into this submission, into this silence. How many people out there are like, get them out? Get them out. If you're part of an organization that openly hates our values, get them out. If you're part of an organization that believes not in cooperating and working in concert with other people's beliefs and religions, but it is to convert them to yours or murder them, I don't know. I might not speak for the minority when I say, get out. Get out. Let's talk about this executive order designating the Muslim Brotherhood a terror organization. This is from KTX 12, ABC News. President Donald Trump said his administration is preparing to formally designate the Muslim Brotherhood a terrorist organization, a step several Muslim-majority nations have already taken amid long-standing concerns about the group's political ambitions and influence. You know, it's like locking the door with the member of the family who can no longer be trusted. You love them. They're part of you. But they've crossed too many lines. You are no longer welcome here. I'm sorry. But out of pure self-preservation, I cannot work with you anymore. These primarily Muslim countries have done it. Egypt, the organization's birthplace, banned the Muslim Brotherhood years ago, labeling it a terrorist group after a period of violent unrest. Why are these people here? Why is CAIR here? C-A-I-R. Why are they here? Why is the Muslim Brotherhood? What are they planning? Well, you sound like a conspiracy theorist. Really? Or did we notice a lot of people who didn't come across with little children and spouses who poured into our country? What, because they wanted to go work at the factory? No. No. On Monday, Trump signed an executive order directing Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent to begin the process of designating certain chapters of the organization as foreign terrorist organizations and specially designed global terrorists. Now, this is interesting. So he did this right after having Muslim New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani at the White House. So he brings in Zohran, says, hi, warm handshake, welcome. Look at the Declaration of Independence, see the Oval Office. It's a beautiful facility that's chat for a while. We'll open it up purposefully to the media. We'll do it at the Oval Office. I'll sit at a desk because I'm older. You'll stand behind me because you're really nothing right now. And we will pretend that everything is good. Then I'm going to drop a bomb on you on Monday. And that's exactly what John Solomon from Just the News says just happened.
This was a very strategic weekend for the president. So I think they knew that Mamdani would relish having a fight, maybe having a Zelensky-like moment in the White House. President Trump wasn't going to give it to him. In fact, the White House calculation was if President Trump was nice and praised Mamdani, it would hurt him with his radical peeps and socialists back in New York. And so he did exactly that, to play a little bit of thing. And then they knew MAGA might be a little concerned. Is he going soft on someone that likes terrorists? So they set up this plan to sign the long-awaited Muslim Brotherhood terrorist designation for Monday. And on Sunday morning, because Just the News had done a very important story last week on it, I sent the story to the president. He came back like, I'm doing this. Go ahead. You can put it on the record. Let's go. And so it was actually a calculated messaging weekend. All things were planned. None of it was organic. No, the president wasn't off his game on Friday. He actually and his team believed that treating Mamdani that way would be confusing to him. And you can see Mamdani was a little taken aback. He didn't know what to make of Friday's meeting. It took him a whole day to recover and go, oh, I still think he's a fascist. He threw Mamdani off, probably did some damage with Mamdani's peeps in New York, creating some distrust among those socialists and Islamists that support him. And then the president coming back very quickly and saying, well, just because I was nice here doesn't mean I don't take terrorism and Islamist threats seriously. And something he's talked about doing and tried to get Congress to do for 8 years, designating the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization, he's going to do by executive order, probably as early as 4 o'clock today.
All right, so it's done. And this is interesting. The president's announcement comes as a new study from the Institute for the Study of Global Anti-Semitism and Policy warns that the Muslim Brotherhood has pursued a long-term strategy to shape Western societies from within. The report argues the group exploits, this is important, democratic systems and cultural tolerance to advance its political ideology over the course of decades. Slow and steady wins the race. Got a lot of these people in our country. Why? What are they doing? Hey, when we come back, Harry Enton at the big wall flapping his arms saying, don't you dare believe Donald Trump's approval rating is down, because it has not moved one bit with one core constituent. I'll tell you who it is next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
I don't know about you guys. I watched the Mondami thing live when it was going on Friday? And he just disarmed him with the light touching. We showed some of the clips, and you can call me a fascist. That's okay. And I was telling Wendy about it. It was much like what he did with Bill Maher. Brings Bill Maher in, he signs all the things that he said about Bill Maher, and now Bill Maher sort of has taken up the hold on one second. Okay. He's sort of taken up the mantle of, like, when these Democrats come on his show, and even the crowd, he's like, whoa, wait a second. He had Laura Trump on his podcast. And he's just like, yeah, well, you know, when I was there, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, he let me say my piece. And the left hates that. When you humanize Donald Trump, the left hates it. They hate it when you humanize. That's why they call you a fascist. That's why they call you a Nazi. That's why they call you all these names. They call you the names to dehumanize you. So then it's okay when they take action. And Donald Trump touches these people and jokes with these people like the Bill Mahers, and it humanizes them, because now Bill Maher has to be like, no, he's really not that bad. The left hates when you humanize them. That's just my take.
I don't disagree.
All right, I'm going to run.
You are?
Well, I don't want to leave at any other point when I don't have a lot of time.
I understand. How are you guys? Let's see what I can tell you about. Who else can I tell you about? My goodness, I've got all sorts of people. The Disc Institute of Pittsburgh. I can talk about them. Who doesn't want to talk about people who heal you without surgery? Right? Like, some people need to get fixed now. You needed to be fixed last Thursday. And it's like, look, I'm going for the surgery. I'm in it to win it. Let's go. Well, you roll the dice with surgery, and surgeons don't spend a lot of time with you after the fact. They cut into you and they say, bye-bye, I'm done, move along. Go to physical therapy and stop talking to me. Then there's Dr. Rafferty, and you kind of become part of the Disc Institute of Pittsburgh family. And you walk in and you realize when you do a non-surgical procedure to grow back your discs that have started to fall apart. I mean, it happens to all of us. 80% of us are going to need a spinal specialist, which is just mind-bending. 80%. If you go in there, there are people at various phases of the treatment, right? You can see where the gradations are. You know what they're not doing? They're not hollering in pain. They're not miserable. They're not wincing. They're getting a therapy. They smile at you, and they're delighted that they know they're on the process to healing. 98% successful. Intra-disc neutrosis. The website, PittsburghDiscInstitute.com, is a wonderful resource. It's a wonderful resource. Go there. Call 412-906-9600. Make an appointment. Talk to somebody there. It costs you nothing. You will love them, and they will heal you, and you will get better, and the pain will go away. 98% of the time. It's a pretty big deal. PittsburghDiscInstitute.com. All right, let's see how you're doing. 3.14. It's not bad. 322 is a much better number to come out with. Don't you guys think? It doesn't that have like a ring to it? I think so. 322. Got a couple minutes to do it. So what the hey? All right, let's see. Why is Spar getting an awesome? What's happening to Spar? Spar, what are you saying? Lots of people saying carnivore diet is working. He's down 56 pounds in 103 days. I can eat meat all day long. I wonder, would you get sick of it, do you suppose? I don't know. I love it. I love it. Congratulations on that. That's huge. What's going on, Leo's mom? Thanks, Susie54. Susie is finger wagging. She says, come on, people, let's rumble. Wow, $10. I hate to say this, being former military, they should all hang slowly, not a quick drop. Dr. Gerald, 65, or Dr. Gerald, 65. It was a very nice thing for you to do there. Thank you. Appreciate that. And yours is a voice that I'm not familiar with. So we're seeing all sorts of new people here. Maligator, I sure know you. Hi, Obswan. Hi, Spar. Meat, yum. Yeah, Spar, tell me what your favorite recipe is. I'd love to know. Your creature has lost more than 200 pounds on the carnivore diet. Jesus. I mean, geez. Hi, Q-Fish. Hello, hello. I love you back, Shuttered. Thank you for that. Hi, Mark's Doodle. Hi, babe. How are you? Hi, Freebird. Hi, Boston guy. And Jim's Ride. Hi, Redash. Hi, Texas Martin Smith. Hi, Joma.
I'm earning my $4 today.
Is that right? Are you stressing out?
No. There's nothing I can do right now. So it's just a lot of back and forth.
Yes. Well, I appreciate you doing that because I would have a nervous breakdown. I did a radio class at Mizzou.
I know you always tell me.
Checked out. It was a board that was like 4 times that size. Lit up. And I was like,
oh, you could definitely have a board way bigger. It's just not the need.
No. No, thank you.
TV boards are even bigger.
4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family. She once hosted a 3-hour show in just 15 minutes. She once intimidated the Electoral College to audit itself. Her monologues are so sharp, they're considered a concealed carry weapon. Fact-checker sites routinely issue her a retraction a week in advance. Even her commercial breaks trend on social media. Her freedom of speech has diplomatic immunity. She doesn't just drain the swamp has to ask for cab fare. Wendy Bell is the most interesting conservative woman on radio. Keep rumbling, my friends. 3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. You know, Democrats, if you have been unaware, you haven't been paying attention, maybe you've been busy living your own life, God forbid you haven't been a news nerd like we are, following all of the trends and what have you. You might believe that Donald Trump is, man, he's not cutting the mustard. People are not happy with this guy. All these prices, it says, fall. Why is he blowing up these boats? All this stuff with the military. Can't he just write nicer tweets? I just don't understand it. They want you to think that that's what's going on. And that might be what's going on with independents or with Democrats who hate him anyway. But with the people who matter. I mean, honestly, the success of this country, the survival of this country, the future of America comes down to MAGA and anybody stupid enough to take us on. because we have the numbers. Look, if you already take a chunk of your electorate, it's got to be 50%. And you realize that these people are totally not interested in voting. They're not interested in the issues. They might live in their own world. They do their own thing. They've got their own lives, whatever. You look at the people who are really entrenched. Anybody who's opposing MAGA has a hell of a war ahead of them because we are unstoppable. We are unwavering, and it's got to stay that way. So how well over the last 6 months has the media, the propaganda, the headlines, all of the fake news, all of the false flag operations, all of the psychological warfare, how has that moved the needle among President Trump's fiercest and most staunch defenders? MAGA, people who believe in making America great again. It's truly stunning. And it should stun Harry Enton, CNN's data guy, who's standing at the monitor with John Berman, and they're going over these numbers. And Harry's basically saying, look, don't take the bait that Trump is somehow, people are having buyer's remorse. No. See, we didn't just vote for him the first time. We voted for him the first time, and we watched him get dragged. We watched them lie about him with Russia. We watched them use that to impeach him. When that didn't work enough, they had to come around with insurrection and all this other stuff. We've watched. We watched them put in an octogenarian Dumkopf in low IQ and even worse integrity Joe Biden. We watched all of that. Right? As our election was stolen. And then we voted for him again. So if you think that you putting out a video saying that Trump is giving illegal orders, that's going to move us, ooh, well, that's it. I'm done. No. See, we voted for all of this. We voted for the criminals to be rounded up. I vote every single day for ICE to roll into every neighborhood and to hunt down people who put our neighborhoods in danger. I voted for that. I vote for girls to be able to play sports without boys who are apparently subpar athletes with penises, who have to compete with the girls. I voted for that unraveling. Voted for all of it. I'm not alone. Here's Harry Enton, audio soundbite number 1. The MAGA faithful are unstoppable in their support of President Trump.
So is the president losing Republicans?
No. Look, this is still Donald Trump's Republican Party, and we can see it here. It's like a rock, to quote Bob Seger. I mean, take a look here. Republicans who approve of Trump. 6 months ago, it was 87%. Now, well, hello, it's the same number. It's 87%. He has not lost any support among Republicans compared to 6 months ago. As I said at the beginning, he's like a rock. He's like a rock. The Republican base is sticking by Donald Trump at this point in time.
It really is interesting to watch his overall approval rating go down, but see this be completely constant here.
It is among independents. It is not among Republicans.
Okay.
It's almost amazing. His approval is going down, but J.D. Vance is very highly regarded. So weird. Like, how do you reconcile that? You don't. Audio soundbite number 2. Democrats are going to hate this because all of the warmongering, all of the fake news resistance, scare tactics are not moving the needle. Trump's own party approval shatters Obama's and Bush's at this point in their second term.
So how does this compare to past presidents in a second term?
Yeah, okay. I think this gives the game away, right? Which is Donald Trump, if you look at 21st century presidents' own party approval at this point in term 2, who leads the pack? It's Donald John Trump. 87% of Republicans approve of Donald John Trump. You go back to 2013, 78% of Democrats supported Barack Obama, and it was 78% of Republicans who supported George W. Bush back in 2005 at this point. So Donald Trump has the biggest highest own party approval of any president who served their entire second term in the 21st century.
Do you know what that number says? All of the garbage isn't changing a daggone thing. The Republican base knows damn well who they got in Donald Trump because they voted for him 3 times. And if you didn't vote for him 3 times, you're probably annoyed that you didn't. Unbreakable. Unbreakable. Audio soundbite number 3. Trump is Mr. Popular, Harry says. His track record with congressional Endorsements. Look, this goes back to Hillary. Oh my gosh, Marjorie Taylor Greene. And Trump saying, look, I'm not going to get behind you and endorse you. Polling we have is terrible. And it shows you're not going to make it. I don't agree with some of the wacky things that you've done, said the president. I can't endorse you. You're not stable. I don't get what's happening. That's my interpretation. He might know full out. Who knows? They both might be playing us. I have no idea. No idea. But Trump knows that his word, his magic wand of knighting people, Trump favorites, is golden. Listen to this.
You know, when you go up against Donald Trump, you're going up against a buzzsaw because Donald Trump's endorsement record is, it's hard to find anyone else who beats it. Times Trump endorsees won GOP primaries. In 2020, it was 98%. 2022, it was 95%. In 2024, it was 96%. And I will note, the majority of times that Donald Trump backed a challenger to an incumbent like Marjorie Taylor Greene, that challenger won a majority of the time. The bottom line is this. There was a real reason why Marjorie Taylor Greene decided, you know what, it's not worth the fight, because more times than not, when you go up against Donald Trump in a Republican primary, you lose.
And there is a statute of limitations on nutty, right? And it seems to have worn its welcome. NFL cheerleader Justine Lindsay says she was fired because I'm trans. Or maybe you're a dude pretending to be a chick. And usually people who like looking at cheerleaders don't like looking at dudes pretending to be chicks being cheerleaders. I mean, the NFL is among the most fickle, blow-in-the-wind Democrat organizations out there. But I don't know, Brock, do you like seeing a dude with a padded bra? Maybe not even jumping around and cheering on your team?
No.
Yeah, that's pretty definitive. So Justin,
maybe he couldn't do the splits. I don't know.
Listen to how out.com, it's a gay whatever. They have to do the she. All right, it's a dude. I'm not playing your reindeer games. Whatever this guy's real name is, says she. Well, he was fired from the Carolina Panthers cheer squad because of his gender identity. Or maybe they're done with the stupid reindeer games. Maybe they realize that taking a knee at the altar of woke and all things progressive lunacy suck doesn't help the NFL. Really? Get out. Lindsay, who became the NFL's first out trans cheerleader, when he joined the Carolina. I'm not playing your fantasy. Look, I don't even care about this individual. And they claim a victim. They don't like me because I'm a man. They couldn't possibly say that. Right? No, it doesn't work. It doesn't sell. You can shove it down people's throats. 87% of the people who voted for Donald Trump like what Donald Trump is doing. And they approve of him today. 87%. He's against all of this the way we are. Stop trying to pretend this is some kind of new normal, because it's not. Your party, Democrats, are responsible for this lunacy, which, by the way, is going to take years of counseling for this individual to realize, in fact, I'm not a girl. Thank you very much for that. This is preposterous. It is a swing of the pendulum, if you will. I get back to normal a little bit. But isn't this the dumbest thing ever? Stop throwing it down our throats. We don't want it at all. 87% of us. Period. Any questions? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, this is what I want to talk about. Memphis is doing something pretty amazing. Memphis, Tennessee. Huge problem with crime. Huge murder explosion over the last couple of years. Trump sends in help. Help works with Memphis police. What do you get when the feds and local authorities work together? Oh, I got it for you next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I can't read the article that is so ridiculous of if she Yeah, if one of my kids came to me and was like, Mom, I'm going to tell you something, I'd be like, no, that's not what's going to happen. You are not trans. I guarantee it. Thanks, and we'll leave the lights on for you. All right. You look like you wanted to jump in there and say something.
I didn't hear any of the female cheerleaders sticking up for him.
I'd be like, you know what, dude? You can take your swishy hips and all your little moves and go do that somewhere else. Okay? I'm not interested in sharing a locker room with you and your penis. I know that was graphic. I'm sorry. It is what it is. I have a doozy of a headache today. It's lingering in my temples, but it's right here. It's sitting right here. You know those bones right there? Oh, wait. Do you have Canolidine in there?
No, that's not.
You know what? I got to come in here one of these.
I do have Canolidine
I might come in and get
over
some.
here.
I need to clean this studio. Oh, it's okay. Yes, I made him get up and do it. I mean, oh, how nice. Thank you so much.
Oh, your camera just went away.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Jesus. I don't.
So our camera just went away, so you guys get to look at my beautiful mug.
Come on.
Sorry about that. by
I
the way.
don't. I don't know why. I don't have the ability to change it. It's just not receiving it. Why? That makes no sense to me.
Okay, so they can still hear. You guys will still be able to hear. Give me a chance to see if I can figure it out.
Jesus.
Let me see if I can get into your settings. No.
What would I have to do?
Go to the settings and see what if it.
I mean, it just shows that it's off of it. Camera just says no camera.
Did you restart? Can you restart the camera? Because isn't that what you did yesterday? All right, so you guys will hear right now.
Let's hope I can get this back.
We'll try to get it started.
Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program, my friends. This is a very interesting story. And this is going to be one of those cases that proves why 87% of Trump's base continue to support him the way 87% of Trump's base supported him 6 months ago. Thousands of arrests by Trump's crime-fighting task force in Memphis strain crowded jails and courts. Well, I'll take it. I'll take it. A task force ordered by President Donald Trump to combat crime in Memphis, Tennessee, has made thousands of arrests, compounding strains on the busy local court system and already overcrowded jail in ways that concerned officials say will last months or even years as cases play out. Well, maybe you should have opened up the border and everybody and his brother to come into town. Since late September, hundreds of federal, state, and local law enforcement personnel tied to the Memphis Safe Task Force have made traffic stops, served warrants, and searched for fugitives in the city of about 610,000 people. More than, this is the number that you want to know, more than 28,000, ladies and gentlemen. 2,800 rather people have been arrested. More than 28,000 traffic citations have been issued. This is data provided by the task force and Memphis police shows. The task force, which includes, what is it? National Guard, supported by Republican Governor Bill Lee and others who hope the surge reduces crime in a city that has grappled with violent crime, including nearly 300 homicides last year and nearly 400 in 2023. Hey, Democrats, you guys did that. Your guys did that. Barack Obama, whomever was dealing with the auto pen, who opened up the border while Joe Biden was in his octogenarian hyperbaric chamber. You did this. From 2018 to 2024, homicides in Memphis have increased, 33%. And aggravated assaults rose 41%. What do Democrats do that doesn't suck? Tell me. What do the Democrats do that don't put you in danger? What do the Democrats do that don't cost you something? What do the Democrats do that doesn't ruin traditional law and order? The only recourse Democrats have is to lie on their crime data. And that's what they've done. Did you hear what Scott Turner, who is the Secretary of HUD, Housing and Urban Development, they've taken this ride a step further. We're doubling down on being able to report people. Remember during coronavirus that they had snitch squads? In Pennsylvania, we had Tom Wolf as the feckless governor, and he was encouraging people. He wanted 100,000 people in Pennsylvania to be on some coronavirus snitch squad to report their neighbors. I heard that Susie next door has COVID, but I don't see her quarantining. I'm going to call her in on the tattle line. Well, it's interesting when you can do that with illegal aliens who are in your taxpayer-funded housing. Secretary Scott Turner launches a HUD hotline to protect Americans in public housing. Damn right he did. The hotline will allow residents of public housing to have their voices heard so their homes can be safe. And he said this, illegal aliens have no place in public housing. That's not open for interpretation. You should not be in housing that the American citizen pays for with taxes, but yet you're paying for all this other stuff with these illegals. So Scott Turner says, you know what? If you're in one of these taxpayer-funded, government-run housing developments because you're needing of help, and you're watching people who aren't from here, who clearly broke our laws to get in, you can report them to us. It's got to be racist. It's got to be something. No, it's popular. Public housing should be safe. We believe that. That is our conviction. A safe community starts with safe housing. And we want to take good care of the most vulnerable people in our society, he said. Public housing was supposed to be filled with peace and security, free from the horrors of violent crime. And they had Pam Bondi. He had Pam Bondi standing next to him, who traveled to Memphis with Turner and the Washington Reporter to celebrate the successes of Trump's task force that succeeded in making Memphis safe again. So you have to ask yourself, where's J.B. Pritzker? Where's low IQ Mayor Brandon Johnson? Brandon, where are you? Where are you, Brandon? You had lots of people shot. You had hundreds of black teenagers rioting to kick off your holiday time in Chicago. And now there's a 14-year-old who's dead. You might want to call. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, this is so interesting. Eric Swalwell, he's got a great idea to protect democracy in the next election. Oh boy, I got it for you next. We have all of these gremlins doing weird things to us here. I don't know why. I don't get it. Who have I forgotten, Brock?
You have wellness today?
Mm-mm.
Hmm?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I don't think you forgot anybody. To be honest with you.
All right, I'm doing something.
Oh, did you do bug flow?
Yes. Thanks for
It
listening.
helped you. Let me think.
If I went through a metal detector, my face would explode.
Uh-oh. Are we releasing the Kraken?
I'm just going to get it out of my way. It's feeling...
So the camera, just for future reference, you saw that big box that came up and said the camera's lost connection. Did you see that? If you X that out, and you have to activate the camera again on StreamYard.
Okay.
That's all I did.
Okay. Oh. How are you doing? Doesn't
Did you
take
do
much.
Crescent Mountain Coffee?
I did not.
That's
Best coffee in the world.
yeah.
Crescent Mountain Coffee.
Christmas.
Yeah, this is a great... It's a great gift.
Don't tell her, but
Everybody's-
that's what my mother-in-law's getting.
Everybody's a coffee snob, I think. Well, more so than others. It's the best coffee I've ever had. Not even close.
It is one of the perks of the job. The Crescent Mountain Coffee.
Okay.
What?
That's good.
That and the REM.
No, it's good. Oh, you mean all the free crap that you get? Oh, and the oven, and the Chef IQ sensor.
Wait, the ovens because
And the
I
Dr.
don't like.
Marty's.
No. I don't like clutter on my counter.
I don't. That's
I
a
didn't
fact.
get the Obliterator 8000.
I still haven't used it. I haven't used it. I forgot about it. Thank you for saying something. What? That's beyond the pale to you?
No.
Do we have 3-5 yet? No, 3-3-1. You know we have to end with at least 3-5. So 200 people. Hi TL
We need to come up with a Wendy
Stoka.
Bell Radio bourbon.
What?
Beer.
Why? A bourbon?
So we can get that for free. I can get that for free.
Okay. Okay. Hi, Stormy Night. What's up, Glow?
I'm looking out for number one. Would Rodney Dangerfield look out for number one? Don't step in number two.
Me got a headache.
Oh, I didn't see you do that.
I don't have a personal masseuse.
Neither do I.
I know. You don't strike me as a masseuse kind of person.
I don't know if I could lay still that long.
Would you mind? Like, I know people who couldn't handle a stranger touching them.
Yeah, I would kind of be like,
You wouldn't like it that much.
no.
I'd be like, bring it. I'm like, your hands are warm and they move, put them on my body stat.
Oh,
and I would lie there and I'd lie there and I'd be like, I only have 3 hours. Let's go. You'd have to have that thing with the mouth, the head goes into it, right? So you wouldn't suffocate. I'd start to drool.
You'd probably fall asleep. You get
I
so
don't know.
relaxed.
I don't know. Well, yeah, maybe. If they focused on my feet, lights out.
I do like those
Lights out.
percussion ones where they beat the hell out of you.
Oh, you mean
Like
with
the guns? Yeah.
Oh, really? The guns? No. What?
Really. I do like you know how they make those things that have vibrations in them and there's water and you put your feet in them?
No.
Like
Why don't I have one? I have chronic foot pain.
I don't know. I have one.
Wow.
I don't use it all that often, but when I do, it feels good.
I'll trade you my neti pot for that.
I had to go buy a neti pot.
A neti pot isn't something you necessarily want to share with people, right? I'm gonna shove
Right.
this
I
up my
got
nose.
snot all over it. You just hit it with sniper and you're fine.
You're good. You're good. That's right. All right, 3-5 is the number. We're at 336. So we need 140 to seal the deal today, mi amigos. Eric Swalwell.
What a tool.
Yeah. Yeah. About that. Yes. Ryan's picking up our gobble. Pants Turkey Farm.
Are you guys getting a real tree this year?
Yes. We've never had a fake one. But we're not going to go to our local Catholic elementary school because it's highway robbery. Yeah, you want to go somewhere for the experience, but I don't need to be arse raped.
If you're willing to drive an hour, you can go cut it down yourself.
I don't want to cut it down myself. I have no interest in that.
That's how I grew up.
Well, that's fantastic.
Same place every year.
Right. What's it called?
Grupp's Family Christmas Tree.
GRU. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. You know, you gotta love when they put it out there. The new cheat, the new form of cheating. When I say, do you agree with me that elections have gotten completely ridiculous and unbelievable in this country? That if you can vote and continue to count votes for 90 days after an election, you don't have an election. You don't have the people choosing their representative government. You've got fraud. I mean, in no world should it take that long. And yet that's what it is. And then lo and behold, it's that tenuous moment where they're like, oh, will the Republican hold on? And then they're like, oh, rats. Well, I guess we got some new mail-in ballots overnight. Sorry, you lost. And we're supposed to be like, okay. It's idiotic. Same-day voting. Make it a national holiday, right? If you have to incentivize through work or what have you, people going to vote, find a way to do it. The more, the merrier, right? But voting by phone, whatever could go wrong. I don't know. Eric Swalwell seems to think that allowing people to vote from their phones is protecting democracy. Really? So we take that and we go the opposite way. And so they want to steal democracy. They want to rob us of that vote. Eric Swalwell calls for phone-in voting to max out democracy as he joins gubernatorial race. What a moron. Gosh. California Congressman Eric Swalwell has ignited a debate on election reform by proposing a statewide phone voting system as a cornerstone of his newly announced campaign for governor. You know, Brock, we're going to start a new phone system, okay? Now, it's going to take a lot of work. There's going to be a lot of infrastructure. We're going to have a lot. What do you see that could possibly go wrong with such an endeavor, this big process, right?
Absolutely nothing.
Grifting? You think
Yeah.
maybe?
Well, you wouldn't have to show proof of ID.
There you go. There you go. President Trump is saying pass the SAVE Act. House has done it. Senate needs to do it. Did you see Scott Bessent's op-ed in the Washington Post over the weekend? He was talking about why it is imperative to nuke the filibuster for the Republicans in the Senate to finally get it done. Look, we're going to shut down again in January because they're going to have to come back and they're going to have to come up with some measure. We're going to have to pass a budget. We're going to pass this, open the government. What do we do? How do we fund it? And then the Democrats are going to do the same daggone thing that they did before. Nuke it. Then we have the SAVE Act, which can provide only American citizens who can prove citizenship, who can prove they are Americans voting in our elections. According to Eric Swalwell, well, it is utmost democracy to be able to allow people to cheat. He's like, well, you can do stock trades on your phone. Why not vote? Oh, I don't know. What could go wrong, Eric? Speaking on CNN Saturday in what would be his first interview since announcing his candidacy for governor, which nobody cares about because the candidacy for governor is running interference for the legal bullcrap that he's involved with because he's accused of mortgage fraud. Like Adam Schiff, like Letitia James, how many others? Swalwell compared the suggestion to being able to file taxes, having the option of phone-in voting. Available to the state's residents. He wants this for California, right? He's like, let's just do California. Let's vote by phone. Did you guys hear? I mean, what could possibly go wrong? I can't fathom. Well, apparently, California, which does nothing well because it's run by a bunch of Democrats, poor 40% of the population there. This is interesting. California spent over $450 million on a new 911 system. $450 million. It has just one problem. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. We spent $450 million. Dang, is that a lot of money? And it's flawed. What do you mean? What do you mean? In 2018, as California was laying the groundwork to build a new 911 system for the state, a massive fire ripped through Butte County, decimating several Northern California communities and killing more than 80 people. A devastating campfire, which wiped out cell towers and hampered emergency communication during critical hours, was on a lot of people's minds as the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services worked to design the state's future emergency communication system. First of all, why is the government ever tasked with fixing problems? They can fix nothing. Everything they touch turns to dust. Just look at the Postal Service. It's all you need to know. In a state where ruinous wildfires are commonplace and the threat of catastrophic earthquakes haunts imaginations. Wow, dramatic. These California Emergency Services officials wanted to make sure the new system had redundancies to prevent widespread failure. California settled on a design that no other state had implemented, a regionalized approach that divided the massive state into 4 sectors. Between 2019, this is great, 2019 and 2025, California paid 4 technology companies over $450 million to build out its next generation 911 system. Bum, bum, bum. It's a more advanced emergency communication tool that would provide dispatchers with enhanced location services and other ways, the ubiquitous other ways for the public to communicate with first responder operators. But when the time came to turn the system on, you guessed it, wah, wah, it didn't work. $450 million. How much did that rail to nowhere cost? How many billions? Like 102? I don't even know. I have no idea anymore because it's such ridiculous fraud, waste, and abuse. So they decided to scrap that regional design and go back to the drawing board. Well, what the heck? Hey, Phil. Yeah. I guess it didn't work. I mean, it was a good idea. I mean, 4 quadrants. I mean, what a great thought process. I know it didn't work. Well, whatever. It's just money for $500 million. And they're like, we'll go back to the drawing board and see what we can come up with. You get the incompetence you allow. Like, this is my message for California. And I don't even have to go that far into this story because you get it. It's insulting idiocy is what it is. But see, California, and I'm sorry if you're from there, because I am too, is about the most apathetic state on planet Earth, right? They're apathetic and we'll say fickle sports fans. Why do you think the Rams and the Raiders have gone 5 million places? How is it possible in a city as large as Los Angeles, you can't sell out certain people are apathetic? Until the people of California say enough is enough, you're going to get morons like Eric Swalwell, demonstrably low IQ individuals who want to ascend into the highest echelons of government because it's always been corrupt. It's always been dirty. That's how you get an attorney general in Rob Bonta, who was cherry-picked by corrupt Gavin Newsom to fill Xavier Becerra's position as attorney general when Biden allegedly won and became HHS secretary, so there was a gap. And Gavin Newsom cherry-picked Rob Bonta, who's now embroiled in this big bribery, blackmail mess with the dongs in California that we've been talking about. And he picked Bonta, filled Becerra's spot as attorney general. But Bonta, moving into that position, left a spot in the California General Assembly, which his wife took, right? And then the wife, after she wins his seat, chairs the committee. So amazing how this works. Chairs the Financial Watchdog Committee in the General Assembly that's meant to keep an eye on the expenditures and what have you of the Attorney General. What could possibly go wrong in California? If you're not willing, California, to rise up and get loud, to rise up and spend time, to get out of your comfort, quiet zone, to actually take action and do one of something to save your state, see you later. They're going to run you into the ground if they haven't already. Most expensive taxes, most expensive real estate, right? It is unaffordable. There's not enough housing, but there is an abundance of illegal aliens in your state. So Eric Swalwell, you know what? Let's in the next couple years, let's in the next year, launch a system where voters can vote by phone, because that's what we want Verizon and AT&T and all these really trustworthy companies to do, to be responsible for the accurate delivery of an American citizen's vote. No, thank you. You get what you permit. You get what you tolerate, California. I would say, oh, hells no. By the way, when we're talking about election security and voter integrity, why is it that America's voter ID laws are among the worst in the world? You know whose is better than ours? Oh, I don't know. Iceland, Sweden, New Zealand, Denmark, India, Taiwan, Chile, Belgium, Cyprus, Slovenia, Romania, Mongolia, Serbia, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Malawi, Kenya, Liberia, Uganda. There are 100 names. Nepal, Lebanon, Nicaragua. They have better voter ID laws than we do. You think? Why is that? Gotta be able to cheat. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, let's do this. The sights and sounds of a white college-educated triggered liberal chick. Ruined by Donald Trump. And you know her. Oh, it's sad. Get out your therapist. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. It's crazy. Can't make it up. Poor Rosie O'Donnell. She's struggling. It's tough.
I have to call somebody out. Goody did not like your song choice today and is complaining an awful lot.
Oh. The song for the thumbnail?
Yeah.
Oh, why?
I don't know.
Goody, what's going on,
He's
babe?
complaining.
You know what? Talk to the hand until we get 3-5. Got 70 people
I
to
said
go.
just for that, I'm going to put the same song up every day.
Yeah. I thought it was cute. Okay.
Now you gone done did it, Goody.
What the hell did you say?
You messed with it, AA Ron.
Yes. You done effed off me, Aaron. All right.
So now I'm going to find the most obnoxious song I can.
Wow.
And put up every day.
You really want to seal this deal. So we need 70 people. 7-0. So we've got 2 audio sound bites here. Okay. So we've got, it's packed. All right. I'll hit this because Rosie, you guys, I don't know. Like, I think I can't even get down with laughing about this. It's not funny. Like, I didn't think John Fetterman is funny. I didn't think Joe Biden falling and being lost was funny. You know, these aren't things that are ha ha he he. Like, I don't know how you could get down with that. But Rosie O'Donnell literally is obsessed. She is
unhinged.
She's an all-star derangement victim. Wait till you see her tell you about her therapist. She doesn't have any cold sores, and I don't think that there are a lot of squirrels in Ireland. So she had to pack up and move her stuff, move her life. Isn't her daughter like some criminal? She's in prison or something like that.
I have no idea.
That's just terrible. Let's see.
The song was anti-MAGA. Okay.
Oh, well, I didn't hear it that way.
Literally, you guys who tune in early are the only people that hear the song.
Sometimes we got to slap some stuff together, guys.
Because if we don't get it up by a certain time, y'all complain.
Rosie O'Donnell, daughter criminal. Let's see what Perplexity says. I use it every day, you guys. Wow, she looks rough. Chelsea Bell O'Donnell has faced multiple criminal charges, primarily related to drugs. That's unfortunate. Arrested multiple times in Wisconsin. Felony charges, including possession of meth. Ooh, she's into meth. You've seen those meth faces, right? When you see the before and the after, and it's like, ooh. Sentenced to prison in late 2025. A mother of 4. Rosie O'Donnell has publicly expressed hope for her daughter's recovery, acknowledging the family struggles with addiction. Well, where are the kids? See, if you don't have... Wow. Oh, she looks awful. Yes, she looks like meth.
Meth had a face.
Oh, my goodness. It's just so sad. And she's all tatted up. Whatever. I mean, you do you. Oh, wow. That's unfortunate. Sucks. Nobody deserves that. Not even Rosie freaking O'Donnell. I mean, it's just awful. There's a pretty picture of her from many years ago with her mom. And then you see the demise. That's just terrible.
Bottom girls, you make the rockin' world go round.
Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. I've got 2 audio sound bites. Don't usually end with audio, but This is kind of sad. I'm not a fan of Rosie O'Donnell in any capacity. I don't wish for people to suffer, but she is the epitome of what we would call a white triggered college educated liberal chick who is completely consumed with derangement over President Trump. And it's not a joke. I'm not making fun. It is sad. She talks about how now she's moved to Ireland, remember, because Trump won and she just couldn't handle it. So she up and left, moved to Ireland. And apparently she has a therapist there because she needs help. And the therapist said, hey, stop tweeting, texting, don't talk about Trump for 48 hours. And Rosie couldn't. She fell off the wagon. She's obsessed. And it's awful to hear this, but we will now hear it.
Good morning, everybody on TikTok. It's me, Rosie O'Donnell, star of the Flintstones. Haven't left a podcast, TikTok in a week. I'm trying to, I have this new therapist I'm going to that talks about trauma healing and body work and stuff like that. She'll often say to me when I'm talking, where do you feel that in your body? And I'll go, no idea. Well, where does that come from when you say that? I'm like, where do you feel it in your body? I'm like, I don't feel it in my body. I don't know what that means. But anyway, as I was leaving, they were like, can I ask you to do homework? I'm like, sure. And they said, Helena, her name is. And she said, well, I feel as though you should try to not post about him for 2 days. So I didn't post on here. But I did, if I like something, hit like or hit add to story, which doesn't feel like it's posting to me because when you hit Rosie O'Donnell on TikTok, it doesn't come up. You have to hit story. But apparently it's the same thing to a lot of people. To me, it wasn't. I just meant something like this with me complaining about him and saying all the horrors that he's perpetrating on the United States and feel my desire to warn everyone. Warn. Be careful. Look what he's doing. We got to get rid of him. Come on, everybody. That kind of stuff, right? So now I've been trying, and it's so hard. It's so hard not to just want to bam, But I'm trying not to do it. So let's see how well I do. It's getting easier as the days go on. Freezing in Ireland. Absolutely freezing. And I'm figuring out how to get the heater to work. Little things that make life better. But it's very cold. And we're going, me and Weenie and Frankie, my assistant, and Clay, are going to see Wicked today at a theater where you can order food. So we're going a noon showing or a 12:15 showing. And we get to have lunch there during it. So
She is broken.
I'm saying it's done. It's lights out. Game over. Trump won. Rosie nothing. I'm sorry. What the bejeebers? Victor Davis Hanson. He says the Democrats' new wish casting, or they're hoping that Trump is losing support among his base, is absolutely preposterous. We're going to end with this. Listen.
They said that for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months after January 6th, he was all through, he was all washed up, and then they didn't even have a serious primary. No one even got near him, and the main candidates withdrew very quickly. It's the same thing. And they can't decide whether they want to run against Trump or that he's not going to be there. But whatever it is, he dominates the party. He's like a colossus that just strides over the party and the country. And they know that. And they've tried everything, Laura. They've tried to raid his house. They deballoted him. They had 5 lawfare cases, 91 charges, indictments. And he's kind of anything that doesn't destroy him makes him stronger. And so he's going to have a booming economy next spring when all this foreign investment, this more energy development, more tax reduction, deregulation, it's going to be a good year, and I think everybody knows it. And I think the left, they're reduced to nothing. And they're cutting these videos that are calling for military insubordination, and it's violating a lot of the elements of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, Article 88, Article 90, Article 92. And they're so desperate, but there's no defection. I think he's stronger than he ever was.
%, and that is going to crank up that TDS and these girls. My goodness. Well, we will pray for them as much as we can here on the Wendy Bell radio program. Thanks for being part of the show. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.